Hey guys, YoumuusYT here, and today we're going to be going over every single champion in League of Legends. Yes, you guys read that title correctly. All of you guys leaving comments asking me about X champion, what do I think about your main, what do I think about this champion, do you hate this champion, do you love this champion? I'm going to be going over all of them, and I'm going to try and go rather quickly as well through all of them, mainly because there's like 142 champions, or I think 142, 144, I don't quite remember, but there's 140 plus champions. And I'm going to go in alphabetical order, and let's get started. First one up is my boy Aatrox. Aatrox, as you guys can see, you guys can also see my mastery level on them. So you can see how much I kind of like the champ, right? So you see if I have any biases or not. I'm definitely probably going to like Aatrox more than I like Evelyn, which I've never played a single game of ever. But Aatrox, I really like the old Aatrox, man. New Aatrox, I didn't like him as much before, but he's starting to grow on me. I think that his kit is just rather clunky. It's definitely not my playstyle, but I can see how some people would like him. And I think overall he's more healthy for the game than the older Aatrox. But I just personally like the older Aatrox better. His abilities are kind of simple and all that. You know, very standard top lane type champion. And his ult is really cool, but I preferred his old passive. So that's my opinion on Aatrox. Oh, also, his passive auto that mutilates the enemy that makes a new debuff. Very, very cool. Next one up, we have Ahri. Ahri, you know, your typical kind of e-girl champion, but in the mid lane. For some reason, every time I have Ahri on my team, she does literally no damage. I don't know how she does it and misses all her charms. So I don't really like Ahri too much. I have played her a bit back in the day before I was level 30, and I actually got Popstar Ahri too. That's one of my first skins. But back then, DFG Ahri was super cool. And now Ahri's more of a kite mage instead of the assassin that she was back then. Back then, you had Ahri in DFG charm damage amps, DFG damage amp. They both damage amp each other. And then you blow your full combo on them and it just deletes people. I'm sure you can still do it now, but it's probably not as good. Akali was super OP and annoying, but recently got nerfed to hell. I still don't want to play against her. She can have a 40% win rate, and I wouldn't want to play against her, mainly because she is just an annoying champion. I hate champions that you can't just hit, you know? Like, I'm fine if you're tanky, okay? Fine. Be Rammus, be tanky, be annoying. But, like, just let me hit you. I don't like playing against champions like Fizz, Jax, Kindred kind of too, because you can't really hit her when she's in her ult, right? Because she can't die. But, not a fan of Akali. New Akali is cool, though. I really like the theme they went with. The gangster ninja Akali with all the tats. She looks really sexy, but I don't like playing her. Don't like playing against her. Fourth one up here, Alistar. Another fairly annoying champion. I never see Alistar's feed, I feel like. I don't know why people don't play Alistar more. Every time there's an Alistar, I don't know whose team it's on, but he usually does well or does average. So Alistar's always a good champion. He's like a 50% champion for me. I don't love him. I don't hate him. I probably prefer not to play against him. But yeah, pretty cool champion overall. Fifth one up is Amumu. Amumu, I used to ban back when I was in Silver, because I played Sejuani, and I was a Sejuani main, and I loved going for these wombo combos with my ult and then team fighting. And then Amumu was basically the exact same thing as Sejuani, and in my mind, I'm like, there can only be one AoE stun teamfight starter. So I just always banned Amumu when I played Sejuani back then. But nothing's wrong with Amumu. Amumu's probably more like old school Sejuani, so I might probably like him more, actually, than new Sejuani. But yeah, Amumu's cool. He'll always be useful, man. I know he's not as good in high elo, but if you go him with Runic Echo's full tank, he'll probably like half health the enemy carries and stunning all of them. Then he'll just leave it up to your team. Next one up, we have Anivia. Anivia players seem to be really consistent, and they usually farm very well. I don't play Anivia too often, but I think I respect Anivia players. They're usually pretty cool people. Not much to say about Anivia, though. No one really plays her. I don't like what they did to her chilled damage. Now there's like a 1 second window to get your E off. But then again, she was really busted when Thunderlords came out, because QE Thunderlords would be like all of your HP, and there was a time where Nivea is a little bit busted. But let me have a water drink, because I'm going to be talking a lot during this video. But yeah, that's Nivea. Also, when I first started playing, since I didn't know about League, I always called her Articuno, because she just looks like Articuno. Annie. Annie is the epitome of like a easy champion, man. She has like so many like easy things. Her Q literally refunds all the mana if you CS with. So you don't even have to auto attack with Annie. You can just CS with Q. Your W is basically AoE. Your E, you click it, you just get Jack's ultimate. And then your R, once you're stacked up, you click on them, instantly stun everyone. With Flash, she's amazing. Without Flash, she's mediocre. I want her on my team more. I want her on the enemy team less. And next one up, we have Ashe. Ashe is one of the best champions to first item Thornmail. Once you get Thornmail on her, you're almost unstoppable. Anytime Trundle tries to attack you, he'll never win 1v1. So if you're going against a Trundle, make sure to counterpick with Thornmail Ashe. Other than that, she's a rather simple champion. I actually really like her Q. I liked building her with Phantom Dancer, Bloodthirster, Press the Attack back then, and I thought she was like a really sick like 1v1 champion with Phantom Dancer and Bloodthirster, lasering people down, getting really tanky. R, stunning people, and then stacking up that Bloodthirster shield. The R is just a game-changing ult, but the Ashes on my team seem to always save it to peel for themselves instead of engage, which kind of suck. But yeah, there's Ashe. Aurelion Sol, super cool champion. I love his look. I love his concept. I suck on him though. Alright? I wish I was better on him because he seems like such a cool champion to play. Also, his mecha skin reminds me of Rayquaza so much. Look at this. He's green with the orange accents. That's literally Rayquaza, man. But yeah, Aurelion so super cool looking. The W, consistent damage. He has a weird, unique playstyle too, where he roams a lot. Very cool. His E is probably one of the shittier feeling abilities in the game though, flying over some walls. Honestly, like, really like weird. I wish they gave him Kane E, where he goes through walls. That would be so much cooler than this one in my opinion. I really don't like this one, but I know it fits with his Q and all that. But yeah, his ult is also super baller, but I wish they gave it a higher ratio, or there's a possibility to make it do more damage, because look how like his ult is literally that Skyrim meme. Was it Fusro Da? I don't know. I know it's not popular anymore, but he literally just shoots you away with dragon power. So there's Aurelion Sol, very cool. Azir, another one of my Mastery 7 champions. I almost never play him anymore, but back when he just came out, I loved this concept of being this emperor, commanding his soldiers, man. And the first game I played of Azir, I got a pentakill, which got me hooked on him, so I played him a bunch. I don't remember when I got the Masteries. I think I got Mastery 7 when I recorded one of my Azir montages. By one of my Azir montages, I mean my only Azir montage, but yeah, he's fun. He's one of those champions that's not really worth learning, though. Because even when you're really good on him, he's just as good as, like, someone that's okay at Annie, you know? So he falls under that category, which is not too cool. As E, I remember when I found out that, like, you can E and then Q before E is done to do the sick, like, over-the-wall jukes. That was, like, mind-blowing for me. But, yeah, and then the Shurima Shuffle, you know, one of the coolest abilities as well. Azir, definitely very cool thematic champion. Bard, next up. Bard. I don't have too many good interactions with Bard. Bards are usually, like, good players. They're usually quiet, just like the champion. They don't talk much. They don't flame much, which is good. His Q is actually insanely strong. I remember one time I was playing Renekton a long time ago. A Bard had, like, the blue support item back then, which was Frost Queen's Claim, and then had a Leandries, and I was like a 3000 HP Renekton, and then he stunned me against a wall and, like, almost one-shot me. And that really opened my eyes about Bard, because those are the only two damage items he had, and he almost one-shot, like, a late-game 3k HP Renekton, Spirit Visage, and all. So Bard does a lot of damage. He does deceptively a lot of damage, man. Back then when he ran Thunderlords as well. Magical Journey, always nice. And then your R, even though people thought you were going to troll teammates with it, 80% of the time, Bards usually do good with it and catch someone out. So there's Bard. I like him. He's cool. Blitzcrank. Blitzcrank is just, like, too forgotten, man. Like, there's too many champions that, like, has the hook theme, but cooler now. Blitzcrank used to be really popular, but then Thresh came out, and then Nautilus became a support, and then now Pike came out. Like, he used to be really unique with his hook, and he still probably has the best hook out of all of them, but he just doesn't have as many things going for him now. Blitzcrank is one of those champions as well, which are super coin flip too. Either it's a really good Blitzcrank, or they're terrible and never land any hooks. Hopefully you guys get the good ones. And he has one of the few abilities in the game that actually gives him a debuff, which is really rare. There's not a lot of abilities in the game that gives you a slow like that, you know, like in this way. I know there's stuff like Vi Q and Xerath Q that slows you down, but not in a way where, you know, it works like his thing, his W here. And then we have his E, really simple ability. And then his R, at first I didn't even know this, but his R, if you don't use it, it just strikes lightning bolts every 2.5 seconds at random enemies. And that could honestly be really good. If minions didn't exist in this game, he would have one of the most broken ultimate abilities. Imagine going top lane of him and then there were no minions and you just constantly every 2.5 seconds just shock the opponent. That would be kind of nuts, but too bad there are minions in the game to fuck that up. Next up, Brand. Brand is another champion I liked a fair bit as well. I like how simple his kit is. He's easy to get hold of, high impact as well. He's one of those champions that really defines being a mage. And in my mind, a mage is supposed to just deal damage to like anyone. Tanks, carries, everything, and spread damage out. He's a really good AoE mage. And he's probably better on support. And every time Brand support is played, it seems to do more damage than my ADCs. So Brand support, pretty crazy stuff here. Look at his R. His R almost always gets all the crazy bounces too. Is Anivia the champion that gets killed by everyone here? I don't actually know. But yeah, I really like Brand. Also, fun story, when I first started playing Brand, the gas mask skin was on sale, and I played Brand with the gas mask skin. But nowadays, I play with the zombie skin since I have that. Braum. Every time I think of Braum, I think of On Hit Braum with that Civ HD video, or Braum Lucian. I feel like he doesn't have much of an identity for himself. He's good when 80 carries that are good with him are meta. You know, like Ashe is fairly good with him. Lucian is really good. 80 carries that can just auto really quickly. Ezreal is fairly good with him too. That's when he's good. Other than that, he's just a really tanky support. That kind of gets, I feel like, overshadowed by Leona a bit. But another solid pick. Braum players are usually good people as well. Caitlyn. Caitlyn, when I first started playing, was always told to me as the highest range champion, this, and that. And yes, she does have really high range. But I feel like nowadays with Tristana, Kog'Maw, and all that, she really doesn't have her niche of being the high auto attack range champion anymore. No one really goes like, ooh, I'm going to pick Caitlyn because I really want that 150 extra range or 100 extra range. I feel like she doesn't have as much range anymore. Give her 700 range, yo. This might be a crazy buff, but give her 700 range. I don't think she's that good. Maybe nerf back her ult down. Next patch, she's getting her ult buffed anyway. But she had one of the best ADC reworks, I feel, with all the traps and headshots. Back then, Caitlyn was super one-dimensional, and she was only used for her auto attack. But now, she has a lot more things going for her. She has free armor pen. The problem with Caitlyn back then was she couldn't really kill tanks. But now, free armor pen with her passive, she's pretty good. Another water break. Wow, this is a lot harder than I thought. This is going to be an hour-long video, man. Camille. Camille. What do I think about Camille? I think Camille is really easy to gank for. I love ganking for Camille. She can almost always guarantee a stun, a slow, and then after level 6, a R is like a free kill basically, unless the top laner is like a Fed, Renekton, or Darius that can 1v2 you. Amazing to gank for. And also, I feel like she's fair. She's fair to counterplay. It's really easy to play around her passive, you know. When she gets the shield, just don't attack her, because it's 20% of her maximum health, and it's only for 2 seconds. So chances are you're not going to do 20% for maximum health in 2 seconds, and even if you are, you probably want to save that burst for when her shield is off. But yeah, Camille, pretty cool champion. I love playing her in Earth because her hook shot's on a 1 second cooldown. I don't hate playing against her either. As a Rengar player, I don't hate playing against her. I always cleanse out of her stuff, and I usually beat her 1v1 from bushes anyway. So don't mind her. Pretty solid champion. Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia. I don't play against her too much. I don't play with her too much. Cassiopeia is one of those champions where every now and then you see like a god tier Cassiopeia that's super 1v9 with phase rush, perfectly orb walking with Qs and stuff and all that. But those are rare. Her Menezia is really annoying. I hate this ability. It does no damage, but yet it is super annoying. But I think it really fits her kit. Since she's not mobile, it's only fair that she makes you not mobile as well. Twin Fang, I remember when she could go machine gun. I don't even know if you can go Twitch with her anymore. Back then, there was Twitch Cassiopeia bot lane, where Twitch's auto attack and Teemo's auto attack reset her poison, I think, and that was pretty fun. Her ult gives lots of good counterplay. If you're a good player, you can definitely make good use of it and make for some cool highlight plays. If you're a good Cassiopeia player, you can backwards flash ult as well. Super cool. Cho'Gath. I didn't mind Cho'Gath too much back then, but nowadays I kind of dread seeing him. He just goes full tank, and like, even if he doesn't kill you in one hit, he does enough damage to just severely cripple you if you jump in. Like, he'll ult you for like 60-70% of your HP, which is just nuts if you think about it. A full tank champion just point and clicking you like that. If you play a melee champion, you a melee assassin as well, you probably hate Cho'Gath. If you play a ranged champion, you probably don't give a shit about Cho'Gath. Like, Cho'Gath gets eaten up by Vayne, just any AD carry really that can dodge his Q. He's practically useless. He can't get in range for. Even if he Righteous Glories, AD carries usually have some way of like moving him to the side, either with Tristana ult, Draven, Spell Shield with Sivir. He's really bad against range champions, good against melee champions. Corki, I think, is really unique. I like the rework that Riot done to him, making him a magic damage ADC, because sometimes you just have a Yasuo mid, okay? I don't want to spoil my opinions of Yasuo, but sometimes you have a Yasuo mid, and then you need some magic damage, and your top laner went AD, most junglers are AD, and then if you in the AD carry position want to do some magic damage, before the whole cart this thing, he was your AP AD carry. Half of his auto attack damage becomes magic damage, his E is magic damage, and then shreds armor MR. His R is magic damage. He does so much magic damage that he builds Sork shoes too, which is really nuts. And now I like that he is going that rapid fire cannon Triforce build, where he goes for these long range like spell pen crits, and then like just deletes people. He's pretty good mid to late game now, but pretty bad early game, I think. Overall, a cool. I really like what they done to him. He was really boring before, and now he's cool. Darius, another one of my Mastery 7 champions. He's just fun to play, man. It is fun to just go in a lane and be like, you're melee, you fucking lose, okay? Like, if you play Darius correctly, you don't lose to really any melee champions. He very rarely gets countered. What melee beats Darius in lane? There's people that go even with him, but I can't say like just a melee that just straight up beats him, you know, that just destroys him. He just never gets destroyed, unless it's late game by AD carries. His problem is supports. Supports help AD carries kite him, and then he can't do anything, and then AD carries DPS him down. I think it's very fair though. But, man, it sucks sometimes, though, when you completely dominate your laner, but your bot lane loses, and you're 5-0 on Darius, and they have Lulu, Caitlyn, and then there's no way you're fucking clicking on that Caitlyn, man. It's impossible. You can go Righteous Glory or whatever. It doesn't matter. They're peeling you off, and you're getting DPS down. But, yeah, Darius super cool. Yeah, it's just fun playing. Like, it's so fun to play it, especially with Conqueror and all that now coming out. He is just super strong. Next up, Diana. Another underrated champion. I really don't like how her abilities, like, I don't feel like her ability is smooth. If her ability is a little bit smoother, I might like her. I don't like how she has the auto attack as well, too. She has to, like, land Q, R in, auto attack W, do all that. I just don't like how her abilities work. They should make it so that her R resets when you kill champions. Does it do that? I don't think it does that. It only does that if you land Q. Her R should reset if you kill champions. I don't think she's that good right now, so that could be a nice buff. And even if she's in a good position right now, I think that's a good change for her. Maybe lower her numbers a bit and make her R reset when you kills anything. I think that would be a really cool gameplay for her. It'll still cost mana and all that stuff, of course, so you don't want to use it to wave clear. But it would be nice to flash ult and kill someone and still have ult proc and not be required to land your awkward Q. Okay, we're 3 rows done. Dr. Mundo. No one plays this champion. He's really strong 1v1 for some reason. I honestly, in my mind, I think he's trolling when he builds Phantom Dancer. But, like he will shit on you if he builds Phantom. If you try to 1v1 him when he has Phantom Dancer and he's going that weird Phantom Dancer Steric Sage Mundo build, he is stupidly good 1v1. I hate when, like, he's 1 HP, level 5, and you're all in him, and then a minion dies, he hits level 6, presses R, and just gains all that shit back, and then you went from pushing him out of lane to him pushing you out of lane. But yeah, that's all about Mundo. No one really plays him. He's cool, I guess. He needs a visual rework. Fix him up right. Draven. I really love Draven's kit, but I just don't like his character. He's not for me. I love how high damage he gives. I love how cocky he kind of is, but I just don't like the way he looks. I'm never a type of person that likes playing humanoid characters. That's why I play all these, like, that's why I play Rengar, Renekton, Jhin, Kha'Zix. I don't like playing characters where I can see their face. I don't know why. I think it's because I played Halo back then, and then you can never see anyone's faces. So I just don't like characters where you can really, like, that are too human. You know, he's too human for me. If he was some weird cyborg alien guy with the exact same kit, I would love playing him. Also, catching axes is really annoying. Like, that's also what makes me not want to play him as well. That just seems annoying and tedious to me to do. But it's cool, though. And I love his passive, though. Oh, my God. I wish his passive was on Rengar instead of the Bone Tooth. I would get this. That would be so sick, dude. That would be super sick. I love making that money, baby. Next one up, Echo. Echo seems to somehow one-shot you always with his E auto attack like combination. I don't even know how he does. He can go fairly tanky and still one-shot you. All he needs is Lich Bane Proto Belt, those two items, and he just feels too tanky to one-shot you. But realistically, he's still going full damage. But his W giving him a shield, his R making him come back, and then Proto Belt giving him a little bit HP. He always seems like fairly tanky and still one-shotting you. Like, yeah, so he'll E in, hit you with that Lich Bane auto, Q auto, and boom, your health bar just eviscerates. So yeah, I feel like he's just too tanky and does too much damage. I don't like playing against him. I don't mind when he's on my team. But especially when he's on my team, my Echoes never seem to ultimate. I don't know why. But yeah. There's Echo. Elise is kind of like Azir, where she's always like... Right now, I feel like she's kind of nerfed into the ground, where she's just a bad champion. And that's not like an insult to Elise players. It's just like she's actually a bad champion. Like, you have to play her like better than normal to achieve like mediocre results, kind of. So that's why I feel like it's not worth putting time in here. Like, say we rated players on their skill, right? If you are like an 80 out of 100 skill player, if you invest that 80 skill in Elise, you probably would not be as good as if you invested that 80 skill into someone like J4, you know? Because they're just a lot simpler. There's a lot less things you can fuck up with them. Also, she's known for diving, though. So if you are really like a high elo player and you play her extremely well, you could do lots of abusive stuff on her. But 99% of people that play her, I feel like, would do better on another champion. And it's nothing against the champion, it's just how they're balanced right now. There was a time where Elise was top tier. When I was jungling, when I first started jungling, it was Kha'Zix, Elise, Kha'Zix, Elise, Lee Sin. I think it's only those three. Those three just dominated the meta. Kha'Zix, Elise, Lee Sin were the junglers. But yeah, those times have passed. Now she's much more of a niche jungler, I think. And she's AP too, which is weird. Evelyn. Back then, she looked really ugly. I hated playing her. Just how ugly she looked. Now she looks awesome. But some of that hate still stuck on, and I just don't care to play her. And also, I don't like champions that have like really delayed abilities, like the W, you have to wait and all that. And then your Q, you just randomly have to press it for some reason instead of it auto-pressing for you. I don't know. She just seems a little bit annoying. Her ultimate is amazing, though. Her ulti is probably one of the best designed assassin ultimates in the game. Awesome work on the ultimate. Probably one of the most satisfying feeling abilities in the game. You execute him, deal a bunch of damage in AoE, right? And you become invulnerable and leave the situation. Awesome ability. It's like a super good Zed ultimate. Like, yeah, that's what I think about it. It's like a super good Zed ultimate. Ezreal. Annoying fucker, dude. I hate this guy. I hate playing against him. I don't mind when he's on my team because I know he's not going to feed too hard, but he ends up not doing damage when he's on my team. He's just really annoying to play against as an assassin because he's the only AD carry that builds armor, and his armor item is fairly big as well, which shuts down a lot of lethality assassins. His new update is kind of awkward, giving him this thing, but it's almost like everyone just presses them both at the same time, so these two are practically one ability, I guess. So yeah. Kind of a weird update. I don't like him, though. I honestly hate playing against him as an assassin player. But I guess that's why people pick him. He's just annoying, man. Like, he goes tanky. He has a free flash. He slows you. I hate him, man. If you're a melee player, you probably hate Ezreal, too. Fiddlesticks in a pretty bad spot right now, man. Riot's doing him dirty. They should give him some buffs. No one's really playing Fiddlesticks other than the Fiddlesticks 1 tricks. What should they do to him? I know Riot is going to eventually remove his point-and-click fear. I don't want them to do that, but maybe they can make it so that his passive, whenever he gets that movement speed, he does a little bit more damage or something. I feel like his passive is really shitty. I know it's meant to work with his W and his ult and all that, but it's just a low-impact ability. His E is really good for support, though. And then his ult is also super good. Yeah, a lot of junglers, a lot of champions are becoming supports nowadays since they're not as good in their role. Make him a jungler again, man. Make him a jungler again. I don't know how they would do it, but maybe make his passive do, like while you're standing still, get more AP, right? And then the 1.5 seconds after you leave it, you still retain that AP. So if you're standing still in the jungle, Wing, you do more damage, and you're standing still, Wing someone, you do more damage. Pretty easy fix there, I think, right? Fiora, I don't like playing against her, mainly because she has a attack speed slow. I'm pretty sure this slows attack speed as well. I'm almost certain, alright? If they took that out, then she's fine. But this is the one gripe I have of her. I'm fine with it blocking abilities and cleansing shit and being annoying. But don't make it slow your attack speed as well, man, alright? Remove that shit from the game. There's only like 2 attack speed slowing abilities. They're both not fun to play against. Q is cool. Ult is kind of annoying though. Like Fiora is like, if you first picked a tank and then they picked Fiora, you're just like fuck. Because there's no way you can build against this other than if you build shielding items. Because it does percent true damage. And I don't think there should be anyone that really deals percent true damage in the game. I feel like it's hard to itemize against. It's not impossible, but it's just too hard to itemize against. Fizz, I like playing Fizz. He's a really annoying little trickster guy. I don't mind playing against him that much, honestly, because his shit is really telegraphed. Like, his ult is really telegraphed. If you want to build Zhonya's, he's kind of useless. His E is really telegraphed for you to flash away. It's basically a skill matchup, I feel like, so I don't mind playing against him. I can see how if you're an AD carry player, though, you can hate him, because then it's not a skill matchup. Then it's if he lands R on you, you're fucking dead. But yeah, as like a mid laner or a jungler, you probably don't mind Fizz too much. If you're a skill shot champion, you're probably ripping your hair out, though. Next up, Galio. He's either insanely busted, going full AP, or mediocre. And right now, I think he's mediocre. But when he's insanely busted, he is so oppressive. Because somehow this fucker has like, he's like the Cho'Gath. He has like 3k HP, and then he Qs you for like half your health. And it's like a really easy to land ability as well, too. And he has global pressure, wave clear, a free MR shield. Like, when he is busted in all regards. Like, when Rengar is busted, he kills you in one hit. Fine, but he's not invincible. When Galio's busted, he's like invincible. He has wave clear. He just has literally everything, man. So I'm glad he's nerfed into the ground now. They should honestly give him back his old passive and make MR building Galio's cool again. Right now, building MR just makes his MR shield bigger, I think, or something stupid like that. Make him do more damage with MR again, man. And then we have Gangplank. Gangplank. I feel like Gangplank nowadays, there's so many items good on him that Riot is scared to like do anything to buff him. He's really terrible right now, but I feel like one wrong buff and he becomes OP again, just because there's so many insanely good items with him. Like Storm, Storm Razor's not good anymore, but all the lethality items are super good on him. What else? The new Last Whisper changes are really good on him. All the crit items are really good on him. Gangplank scales really well with items. And Grasp Gangplank's really good too, so he's in a dangerous spot right now where, like, if he gets touched just a little bit, it might be too much, but if he doesn't get touched, he's kind of bad. Okay, water break again. Wow, we're at 30 minutes into the video. Damn, we got a long way to go, man. This is about to be a 2-hour video, bro. Whatever, I'm trying to get through it fast. I really am. Garen, pretty annoying to play against, because if you're the villain, you just die. Like, there's no counterplay if you're the villain. You just have to avoid him. Even if he's like 07, if you're the villain, he has a pretty good chance of 1v1ing you, which is really shitty gameplay. They really need to change that. You shouldn't be punished for doing well, and he punishes you for doing well. Other than that, his kit is really anti-assassin too, which is something I don't like. And his ultimate is really satisfying though. His ultimate is like super satisfying to use. Overall, not OP champion, weak champion, but good against the champions I play, so I don't like him. Also, the stupid justice thing is really annoying, and they need to remove that. That was just terrible. Like, that was a terrible design. Gnar, another annoying champion. I feel like I'm calling every champion annoying, but I think it's just these first few. The champions get a lot less annoying later on. Gnar, really annoying champions because if you lane against him, he's going to go like Black Cleaver, Frozen Mallet. So he's going to be a ranged champion that's super tanky, and he's going to go bone plating. So even if you get on top of him, you're never going to kill him. And then if you fight long enough with him, which you are because he builds like fucking 1,000 HP in his first 2 items, he becomes a melee, and now you got to run away from him again. Just like kind of annoying design, you know. He seems to be like good at everything. He has CC, he has tankiness, he has damage, he has chase, he has slows. Like, he's just really good at everything to make it so he's just oppressed a lot of top laners, and then they nerfed him into the ground, and now he sucks, and I'm glad he sucks because I don't like playing against him. They gotta stop making annoying champions, man, you know. Gragas is just the type of champion that, like, every single game, I feel like he does the same thing. I think tryhards like playing Gragas because he's just really, really consistent. So if you really want to win and if you get good at Gragas, you're just super good. I'm talking about jungle Gragas, by the way. Some people do play AP mid Gragas, but if you're anyone other than, like, the 2 super famous AP mid Gragases, you're probably going to get called a wannabe, though. But other than that, Gragas is a cool champion, though. I like playing against him. I don't mind him on my team. Fair champion, not that annoying. Graves, he's usually pretty busted though in the jungle. I don't think he's that busted anymore, but back in season 6, he's insanely busted because he was a ranged champion that beat you in melee range. So think about that for a second. Imagine if you're a melee champion and you have all these cool stats and stuff, and then this guy is hitting you from far away, and then when you finally get up close to him and lose half your health, he beats you in melee range anyway. So that's what was really annoying about him back then. Now he's not that bad. I think he's a lot more fair now. And Graves players just seem like cool jungle chads, and I do kind of like playing Graves as well. He seems kind of like a nimble character. Pretty cool. Next one up, we have Hecarim. I really like Hecarim as well, but man, he has not held up, man. Over the years, he's been getting worse and worse and worse. Even with like Predator being so good on him, it still ends up being okay at best, you know. He's just, I don't know, he just doesn't scale right. I think it's because he has mana problems and low clear speed. So they should somehow buff his clear speed because he's a farming jungler. Buff his clear speed, make his mana cost less in the jungle somehow. And yeah, just make it so that he's not so shit. Like, this dude's first jungle clear, after you're done doing your first jungle clear, you can't even, like, gank. You're so super weak unless you clear perfectly or know all the weird Hecarim clears. But yeah, just make him simpler, basically. Give him more base armor, I think, is a fair thing. To give him more base armor, make his mana cost a little bit less. I don't think that'll make him busted for top lane. He practically never runs out of mana top lane anyway with Corrupting Pot. Heimerdinger. Used to be a cool mid lane champion. Now, another annoying top lane champion. There's so many champions that go top just to fucking annoy, like, typical top laners, man. You guys that play top know what I mean, dude. You, like, queue up, you're like, okay, let me play some, I don't know, Sion top. Actually, Sion's really good against him. Let me play some fucking Darius top. Boom, you're against Heimerdinger. Congrats, you're never going to get near him. He is just going to stun you when you go near him and just get turreted down. There's no way you can all-in him. Your jungler comes. If your jungler is like level 5 and he's level 6, stuns your jungler and then drops ult turret or ult rocket and one-shots your jungler. And yeah, that's basically Heimerdinger. Recently, they did nerf the shit out of his grenade, though, and he's really bad now. So I think you guys can tell, most of the champions that I felt are annoying, a lot of other people felt are annoying too, and that's why they're nerfed into the ground. But yeah, his ult grenade stun lost a whole second. It was 1.25 second stun, and now it's 0.25 second stun, which is like a huge nerf. But yeah, that definitely really stops him shutting down melee's all-ins. But if they somehow put him back into the mid lane, I think they can give him the 1 second back. Just don't let him go top, okay? Make a rule. Heimerdinger is not allowed in top lane in the first 15 minutes of the game. Alawi. This is the most, like, 1v2 champion ever, man. Like, I'm jungling, I would have laners that are getting beat by Alawi. They ping me for ganks, and I'm like, no, bro. I'm not going near her. A fed Alawi with, like, Death Stance or Sterix Gauge or whatever first item, Black Clear first item, can easily 1v2 just like Darius. And, yeah, like, I would go into lane as this guy's pinging me to gank him. He gets hit by an E, as I'm jumping in as Rengar, and then she ult, 3 tentacles, boom, we all die in 1 hit, and it's crazy. But she again gets beat. All Juggernauts get beat by 80 carries to poke her down. But if you can't poke her down, she is absolutely devastating. Like, that's why people don't pick full melee teams. If you pick a full melee team and you go against someone like an Alawi, like, she will destroy you guys, man. Aurelia, new update. What do I think about her? I think she's really good, but she also requires a lot of skill. So I think that's fair. There was a time where she was super busted and she had literally everything, but now I think she's in a good spot where if you're an insanely good player, you can make use of her really, really well. If you're not so good, you're pretty fair with her, you know. Her ult is pretty cool. They changed it so that it no longer disarms you. That's actually old, which is good. That was the main annoying thing about her. They removed it. Nice. Her passive is cool. I kind of miss her doing true damage, though, because Aurelia was known as kind of like the true damage auto-attacking champion. But, yeah, she doesn't do that anymore, so it's kind of weird now, I guess. It's kind of weird when they rework champions and something a champion was known for is just, you know, ended. Next up, we have Ivern. Ivern, I love playing with him since I'm Rengar, but not enough people play him because he is the definition of a selfless champion, man. You're not going to 1v9 carry an Ivern ever. There's no way. It doesn't matter how good you are. If your team sucks, you're going to lose. That's why people don't play him that much. But that's why I love him on my team. Because you know how good it is to have a selfless player, man, that just wants nothing but to help your ass out? That is awesome, bro. Like, that's amazing, man. That's like having a housewife. This is the housewife champion. He only shields you, you know. He roots people. Like, if you're Rengar, he gives you mobility. He summons a big vacuum cleaner guy. Yeah, he's just cool. I love him on my team. I love him on the enemy team as well, too, because if I'm playing Rengar, this dude is a free fucking kill. I can have 1 HP, and if I have Legend Bloodline, I would out-sustain all his damage and kill him, which is hilarious. Next one up is Janna. Janna used to be really annoying, and then all the E-Girl supports and Ardent Sensor got nerfed, so now she's okay again. I feel like the memorable thing about every champion is how annoying they are. Like, at one point, every champion has been super annoying, I feel like. That's what everyone remembers the champions by. But now, she's fairly balanced. I like it when she's on my team. Yeah, she's just the typical peel support now, you know? One annoying thing, though, is Janna, Tristana. You're not getting near them, bro. You are not getting near them. You jump on them, Tristana jumps away. You jump on them again, Tristana R's you away. You jump on her again, Janna ults. How do you get on top of them, you know? You gotta wait for your range characters to do that. Next one up is J4. J4 is a super simple champion. I feel like you just click all your buttons and win. You EQ. It's almost impossible to fuck up your EQ, right? You press your E, you press your Q. Simple stuff. These are basically one ability to make a low radius Malphite ultimate. And then once you EQ someone, you W them for the slow and shield. He's just a super asymmetrical champion. He only does one thing, basically. He goes in, that's it. He traps you. Super simple. I think he was also really good in Season 4 as well. But yeah, super simple champion. Okay, where are we up to? J4? Oh, we're up to Jax. Jax, very divisive champion. I really don't like playing against him, but I like his concept, though. I like his lore. I like how he's the Grandmaster at Arms, and because of that, he scales really well with items. There's almost no item that's bad on Jax. He makes use of almost every single stat, and that's really cool, I feel like. He has a little bit weak early game, but nowadays, I feel like his early game isn't even that bad. Back in the day, Jax was known for having a bad early game, but he scales into a god. But he's just okay early game now. I feel like the game has power crept that much where he went from having like a really bad early game to just an okay early game. Back when like Renekton and all them were dominating lanes and stuff. He doesn't really get bullied out. So he's pretty fine. His E, oh my god, his E is so annoying to play against if you're an auto attacker, though. It's just one of those things where there's nothing you can do against it if you're an auto attacker. Like if you're playing Jhin, Rengar, any of these auto attackers, there's just not much you can really do. On Rengar nowadays, his W being cleansed is pretty good against it. So if you jump on him with 4 Ferocity, he'll stun you, you double W, then you start beating his ass, which is good. But yeah, if you go Spear of Sojin too, oh my god, that's so annoying. If he ever gets a lead on you and you're an auto attacker and you go Spear of Sojin, you're not damaging him ever, alright? Jace, another oppressive lane bully. We don't see him too much anymore. I wish I would see him more in the top lane because I love eating up Jaces as Rengar. Anyone squishy in the top lane, I welcome with open arms, man, instead of these Orns and all these annoying tanky champs. Jace is squishy, cool. He does high damage, but he kind of falls off a bit. He's this weird pseudo AD carry poke champion that can also go in. He's also very flexible too, I feel like. Jace can build a wide variety of things. He can go bruiser, he can go assassin, he can go like kind of AD carry style. I've seen some Jaces go tanky back in the day too with Iceborne Gauntlet and stuff, but yeah, he's pretty cool. Jhin, really loved him when he released, played them a bunch. I don't play him as much anymore, but I still love his theme and thematic. And he is like my Draven, you know? He's like the powerhouse, the slow auto-attacking but high damage AD carry. And I think that's awesome. I love that theme. He also rewards skill a fair bit if you're accurate with your Ws and your ultimates. And then one of my most popular videos back in the day was why you max E on Jhin, where on PvE, his E did not do less damage when you landed 2 of them, right? So you can max E, and then they would step on like 2 of them, and then you land your W, and that shit does a crazy amount of damage because it didn't reduce the damage. Back then, if your E does like base 400 damage, which is pretty normal because it does base 300 if you max it, plus if you have like any AD item, it'll do an extra 100 damage. And then each trap does 400 damage. So if you put 3 down, it does 400 damage. Now, each successive trap is reduced by 65%. So instead of doing 1200 damage, it does maybe like, I don't know, like 700 or 800. So it's as if you did 1 less trap. And then his ult is so satisfying. Ooh, stealing Barons with this, you know, where you shoot the team and weaken them, make them think that you're trying to kill them. Save that last shot for when Baron is low. Boom. The execute crit does crazy damage, like 1500 damage. You can probably outsmite most junglers that aren't paying attention. Speak of outsmiting, your last auto attack can definitely outsmite junglers. When Dragon is really low, this thing does like 2k damage. It is crazy, man. Jinx. Jinx's Q is honestly super fun. I've been trying forever to try and make this weird Phantom Dancer, Bruiser, Jinx top thing work. And I do have a cool montage trying to make it work, you know. But I feel like it's never going to be a thing as much as I want it to be, you know. Maybe if they make some better items for Bruiser AD carries. But yeah, I don't know. Actually, with the new Zephyr that is being announced, kind of, or like teased, could make Jinx top good. When that comes out, expect a video of me trying that out. But yeah, pretty cool. Her ult being an execute is actually pretty pretty nice breath of fresh air compared to the other global ultimates, actually. Also, her passive is super fun. Next up, we have Kaiser. Kaiser, okay. Riot has really been adapting AD carries to make them have a lot of counterplay options. If you see the new AD carries, they have a lot of ways to not get one shot. Like Xayah and Kaiser can do lots of stuff, like she can R away, do all this. There's lots of ways for them to not get one shot. Riot is designing AD carries to make them more nimble and just harder to kill, which is cool. And as an assassin player, of course, I don't like that, but I think she's a cool AD carry though. She feels like she's always good, you know? Like, you can never see an AD Kaiser on your team and be like, wow, I hate that. You know, she's always good. She does consistent damage. Her passive is super good, mixing in some magic damage. Her ult is, you know, a free engage and gives you a big shield and all that, too. Good champion. And I like how you can build an AP as well. Even though AP is not as viable, I like that Riot is, you know, dipping their toes in other ways to itemize champions. Calista. Calista is absolutely terrible right now, and she needs buffs. Calista is just garbage right now. And when they make her good, she is too OP in pro play. I don't really know how they're going to balance her. Maybe she needs a rework because her passive is just too divisive, being able to get a mini flash every time you basically auto attack. But right now, she's in a terrible state. Give Calista some help, man. She's like 40% win rate or something right now, man. Give her some help, Riot. She's a cool champion. I like her theme. I like that her E like can just rend the shit out of stuff. And it's always cool having her on my team when we're doing Baron because I don't have to worry about smiting, you know? And then your R to throw someone in is really weird. Like, it's just a weird ability. Next one up, we have Karma. Karma, really high damage support. She's like Sona, but less supportive capabilities, more killing the enemy capabilities. I feel like she's just like she's just better than Sona in like every single way. I feel like, other than like Sona's ultimate being pretty good, I just feel like she's just a better Sona in like every way. She does more damage. She shields more than Sona. She doesn't heal, so she probably has less sustain, but she also has a non-ultimate crowd control. Pretty cool. Karma there. Where are we up to? I'm losing track. We're up to Karma. Karthus. Karthus just came back into the meta, but before he was meta, he was really never played, and he's this weird niche champion. But he's cool, though, in that he doesn't auto-attack the CS, and he can Q. I think that's a really cool gimmick with him. Making AP mages, you know, have a really low cooldown ability. But it's hard to land, though, so if you're good on Karthus and you're landing, like, literally all of them, people are going to think you're a god. Also, Wall of Pain, a really low impact ability. No one really uses this ability. Like, people use it, of course, but they don't think too much when they use it. They literally just, you know, press WQ at the same time all the time. They don't really, like, tactically go like, when the enemy goes in here, I'm going to wall this area off so everyone that walks in gets slowed. And as they're retreating from getting slowed, I'm going to keep... No, it's just an ability you throw down, usually. E, I wish it was not... I wish it did not cost as much mana to just keep this on permanently. Because I think it's just... I think it's annoying to have to manage this as well, too, as a Karthus player. I think it would be more fun to play if you can just leave this on. But, I don't know. I don't play Karthus, though. And then his ultimate... got really nerfed over the years, but Keystones have recently made it good again. But since there's a lot of champions that have invulnerability now that come out, like Bard, Kindred, Zyra, and then there's just a lot more counter play options against him, making his ultimate a lot worse. Back in the day when like very few champions had that, his ultimate almost always guaranteed a kill, but nowadays it doesn't really, and there's lots of picks to counter him. Cassadin. When I started playing, this guy had a 99% ban rate. Literally a 99% ban rate, and I would never see him, and I didn't even know what he did. And then when he got super nerfed, he started seeing play again. Apparently, back then, his R had 700 range. That's like 100 more range than Flash. And it was still on like a 6-second cooldown. So that's why it was super crazy back then. But he's, you know, he's the anti-mage kind of guy. He's like the, you know... He's like a kind of more safe version of Zed or Talon, you know. Instead of assassinating the enemy mage, he kind of tanks them up. And he still assassinates them, but he kind of more slowly, deliberately kills them and scales up a little bit better. And then has more reset potential than those champs do to pop off. But yeah, cool. I like his theme. He's a cool character. Katarina. I don't know much about Katarina. I think it's really cool, though, that when she picks up her dagger, it's like her old W and it spins. It really rewards like good play and preparation. Get it? Preparation. And she can make really crazy plays. Katarina, even if she's like 0-10, if she gets one good team fight, like you should not underestimate her because she can easily just wipe your whole team, man. Like those daggers that pick up an AoE, that thing does so much damage. When you pick up the dagger, like, is this the ability to pick up the dagger? Yeah, I don't know if it's the passive in this one. I think it's this one. Does she go pick it up? Yeah, she does. It does so much damage. The little spin does like fucking 3 times the Q's actual damage. So that's really crazy. And then her R is the same. And then a pretty interesting thing that you guys probably don't know. Her R is one of the few abilities that apply grievous wounds there too. So once you're in the Death Lotus, it's going to be hard to heal out of it there. Kale recently just got her update, so I'll give you my opinion on her now. Right now, she is useless up until level 11, and then level 11, she becomes a real champion because she's actually ranged, and then level 16, she becomes a 1v9 champion, but in the current meta, by the time you get to level 16, the game is probably decided, so she's bad in that the games are just too short. You know, the games are too short to give her time to scale. If she wins, it's probably because her team won for her, not because the Kale player played too well. But I don't like how her ultimate makes it so that you cannot auto-attack while you're in ult. I feel like that kind of sucks, man. I feel like that kind of sucks. Like, that really makes it so that, like, that's a huge nerf to on-hit Kale, I think. And which is also why I think as we see more development of Kale, she is gonna have, what'd you call it? she's gonna be built more as an AP instead of a like DPS champion. So she might just go Nashers and then go full AP, or Nashers Rageblade full AP. That's too much on hit already. Like I don't think she'll ever go back to like that super on hitty champ with Runeans and all that. I don't think she'll ever build Runeans ever again. Kayn, the edgelord. All right, if my teammate is a blue Kayn, he ends up feeding O10 and sucks. If he's red Kayn, he is super consistent and useful. I don't know why, but that's just always how it is. I love playing red Kayn as well. Even if I go full damage, I just like red Kayn's kit better. I'm not a fan of blue Kayn. His kit is really smooth though. He's a really good feeling champion to play and get good at, man. Yeah, he has a really smooth kit, and you can definitely pop off on him if you're fed, especially on red Kayn. And oh my god, it's crazy. You can do some craziness on red Kayn if you're really fed with Black Cleaver and all that, and start shredding through people. And the new Conqueror could be good on him jungle too. I don't really know, but I've seen some videos on it. It's pretty cool. Next one up, we have Kennen. Damn, we're 50 minutes in. I'm not even sure how many champions we're deep in yet. We're up to K, man. Okay, I'm doing it though. Kennen, the Heart of the Tempest. Okay, he's another champion that should be banned from top lane. Another annoying top lane champion, you know. He has a stun for some reason, so that whenever you're a melee and you get on top of him, he stuns you. And then he can run away if he wants, or if he doesn't want to run away, he'll R and you can get away from him again. But his ult is honestly super satisfying, though. I like champions with really satisfying ultimates. And E Protobelt flashing in, ulting is super, super satisfying. So as much as I hate how annoying this fucker is, his kit's satisfying, and I honestly think I like playing him. So I think he's cool. Next up, Kha'zix, one of my favorites, man. All right, like back in the day, playing reverse tank Kha'zix, going Spirit of the Elder Lizard into like what Maw Randuin's. Oh man, that was so sick. Kha'zix was so like awesome back then, because when you evolved your R, you had 50% damage reduction when you were like when you press R for 2 seconds or something, and it was crazy. It made you super strong duelist when you were just good at everything, and that's why I got nerfed. And now he's more of a one-shotty champion, but only when people are alone though, but still very satisfying to play and go for those resets. And oh, watching that, I forgot what that guy's name is, that one Chinese guy that reset on him like crazy, like just flies around, so satisfying. Every time I watch that, I want to play Kha'zix. But yeah, Kha'zix, super cool champion, very satisfying to play, awesome champ. Kindred, I hate this champ. He's one of my most hated champs. I ban Kindred right now, no joke. I ban Kindred every single game. Every single game I ban Kindred, just because her ultimate is just so annoying. Like, and it just supports bad play, kind of, you know? Like, you go full damage on Kindred, and then if you're about to die, you just R, and if you go full damage, that'll give you enough time to burn the enemy down to 1 HP anyway. Like, I don't know, I just hate her so much. I hate Kindred. Sorry, Kindred players. No offense, but actually offense. Fuck you guys, I hate Kindred. Next one up, we have Clad. Clad is like super, super tanky, man. If you look at the actual numbers, Clad at level 18 has like 3,600 base HP. So he's a really good Titanic Hydra champion. He's really silly. I like his kit. I think he's fun, you know. And I think it's fair that he's tanky because he doesn't have too much mobility, so he's very kiteable. And he's really short range kind of too. So I think he's fair. Cool champion. He's not played too much, but when he's ahead, he could really like run over some games, man. Like he'll just R into you, and he'll have like 3-4k HP in mid game, and he'll have Titanic Hydra, and he will just decimate you, man. Yeah, scary champ to get ahead, and Clad is probably most similar to old Aatrox. That's why if you see a lot of people that played old school Aatrox, they're probably Clad mains now, because the ability of when he's in Scarl and he's really low HP and he's fighting and he, you know, gets all that HP back is reminiscent of old Aatrox, where he's low HP and you keep fighting and you keep healing, you know. So yeah, that's what I think about Clad. I think he's cool though. His ult always fucks up though for some reason, I think. But yeah, cool champ. Awesome. They need to make some cooler skins on him, man. He has a really good design. They can definitely make him some awesome skins. Kog'Maw, probably one of my favorite AD carries. I love how he's just a DPS cannon. I love just sitting still, and then I have the whole team to baby me, you know? I'm just like, I sit still, I press W. Everyone, protect me. Like, you feel like such a boss, man. Like, you have all your bodyguards protecting you because they know if they protect you, you're gonna fucking kill everyone. Kog'Maw is probably the highest DPS champion in the entire game with W on. Yeah, W full damage Kog'Maw can melt anyone. There's not a single person that can tank him other than Jax, probably, or Spear of Sojin. But yeah, he just deletes anyone. Like, you get tagged by like 3 or 4 autos of Kog'Maw and you're gone. You're just dead. There's a lot of times, it's funny that they put Cassadin in here because like I was playing one time with Kog'Maw and the Cassadin was like defending his tower and he wasn't really paying attention. I turn on W, just shoot him like 4 times and he's just dead. And he's like, what the fuck? Yeah, that's just how Kog'Maw is, man. Craziness. Next one up, we have LeBlanc. LeBlanc will kill you from 2 screens away and then blink back. Like, I don't mind her that much because I'm not 80 carry player, but if you're an 80 carry player, you must hate LeBlanc, man. She'll kill you from 2 screens away with 2 dashes, and then after she gets in that precarious position of killing you in the back line, she'll just blink all the way back. And if she can't, she'll Zhonya's, and she has all these tricks and stuff. She'll go invisible. She has so many tricks to get out of situations after killing people. She's like, just like a super good Zed, I feel, you know? And the one weird ability in her kit is her chains. If her chain was a little bit better, she would be insanely busted. But that's good that her chains are not better. And then her R is super cool, I think. Very creative ability. Mimic. You know, lets you decide what you want to do. If you want double W for more mobility, double Q for max damage, double E for max CC. Kind of like Heimerdinger. Cool ability. I don't like how she goes invisible, though. I think this is really gimmicky, though. Yeah, sometimes you accidentally kill her, sometimes you don't. RNG. What are we up to now? Lee Sin. Lee Sin, when I first started playing the game, was like the high skill champion. Like, you know, this was like the champion you played if you really wanted to master a champion and put hundreds of thousands of hours in him. And to this day, he's still really hard to play. But the player base getting just overall better makes it so that, you know, I feel like even in low elo, people can play him fairly well. Back in then, like, nah, man, a bronze Lee Sin and a gold Lee Sin, there was no, not a bronze Lee Sin, a bronze. I don't want to say bronze. How about this? Back then, a gold Lee Sin and a diamond Lee Sin, the difference was huge, like ginormous. Now, it's not as big, you know. It's like a gold Lee Sin can insect as well. You know, his combos might not be as clean, but a gold Lee Sin can probably kick flash and all that. Back in the day, no. They did not have access to those abilities, right? You had to reach at least plat to even attempt the kick flash back in the day, it seems like. But yeah, Lee Sin, high skill champion. Yeah, I feel like he doesn't fall off anymore, though. People always say, oh, Lee Sin falls off, Lee Sin falls off. That was, like, the thing about him. Nowadays, he doesn't fall off. You've seen his build tanky and all that. He never really falls off now, I think. And he always has one-shot potential as well. Leona, probably one of the most consistent supports in the game, I think. Yeah, you very rarely see Leona's feed or Leona lanes fuck up just because how consistent they are. She's like another Alistar in that her abilities are so simple and straightforward and strong enough to where all you need to do is if you land your E, chances are you're winning that team fight. You're winning that bot lane 2v2, like, just because that's how her power is budgeted, you know? Even if you're with a really weak early game laner like Kog'Maw, if you land your abilities, you're probably going to go at least even in fights, if not win, you know? But yeah, Leona's super good. For some reason, though, Leona players don't know how to R to engage. Leona players always save the R to peel, even though the 80 carry is like 0-10. And they should really R to like engage for like the fed Darius in the top lane. I don't know why that is, but yeah. Lissandra, super underrated champion that recently became popular again. I played her back when she wasn't cool, okay? I like to say that. I played her as full assassin DFG Lissandra. You can't really do that as much with her anymore now. If you want to go assassin, you have to go electrocute and protobelt. But I really don't like how she's being played as an aftershock champion. I think that's again just annoying, you know, like who wants to play against a mid laning mage with like a billion armor MR that CCs you, slows you, runs away, and then if you dive her, she R's herself on the tower, R's you, you know. Yeah, they made her more annoying than possible. Hey, I was playing her pretty how do I say, I was playing a pretty alpha Chad, okay? I went DFG, and I Eden, and I tried to one-shot some people. I would DFG R, WQ, and just go for one-shots. Not the annoying gameplay we see from Lissandra nowadays. Lucian, probably one of the smoothest feeling 80 carries. He just feels so satisfying to play. Every time you're playing him, you feel like you can, like, He's kind of like Vayne, you know. He's like an easier Vayne. Like every time you play him, you feel like you can just 1v9 and just outplay anyone with the dash and all that. Super cool. I love him. Yeah, he's just really fun to play. And then the changes making it, the new Spear Sojin or Essence Reaver thing, making him go absolutely mode with E is also really fun too. But still kind of balanced. But yeah, Lucian's known for his incredibly good lane. And yeah, if you have a Lucian that loses lane, he deserves to get flamed. Lulu, my favorite support ever. I don't know why. I just love Lulu. I swear my win rate with Lulu on my team is like fucking 80% or something. Because she's just such a good champion, man. She does damage. She has speed. She's such a good support. She has damage. She has speed. She has hard CC. Not hard CC, but she has CC if she needs. By like cheering someone polymorph. And then she has one of the coolest ults, you know, for a melee assassin. You jump in. She ults you, you get really tanky, and you knock everyone up and hold them in place for you to actually kill them. My favorite support, if you play Lulu, I like you. Girls that play Lulu are 100% hotter. Next one up is Lux. Even though girls that play Lulu are 100% hotter, for some reason, every single girl on the planet plays Lux. I don't blame them. She's like, you know, a cute long-range mage. She's really safe. And she's simple to play. Lux, even though she has a bunch of skill shots, is really not hard to play. Her game plan is, do you land Q? Okay, you land Q, enemy is squishy, press all your buttons, they will die. That's all Lux's gameplay is. You rush CDR, hope for catches with Q, and that's all she is. Her laser is pretty cool though, honestly. I love like lasering Yasuo's when they win wall and then they don't know that Lux R is not a projectile, and then you just burn them down, which is fun. Malphite. Dude, Malphite is super underplayed nowadays. I think Malphite is really cool, man. Like, I think he's also a really good jungler too, because like he has at level 6, if you have flash, I don't see many lanes that can survive just a random flash ultimate out of Malphite from out of nowhere. If you go Runic Echo full tank with him jungle, I think he's fairly good. Top lane is really good too. If you want to climb elo, just play Malphite, man. Play Malphite, be consistent. I guarantee you will climb. Like, you can't carry, but he's just too consistent. Like, it is almost impossible to have low impact on Malphite. Whereas if you're behind on Rengar, it is extremely easy to have low impact. Even if you're behind on Malphite, you have really high impact. And his ult, again, really satisfying. Riot's really good at making champions have something about them that are super satisfying to make you want to play them. Malzahar, there was a while where I played Malzahar top, and I was that guy because some Malzahar terrorized me, and I'm like, you know what, you terrorize me, I'll terrorize you, man. You know, if you can't beat him, join him. And I played Malzahar a bunch because it was the tank meta, man. It was the fucking, whatchamacallit? It was the Maokai meta, and Malzahar destroys Maokai. You go like first item Relinomicon, back then that gave you a bunch of mana, into Liandry's, yeah, Liandry's. And then you would summon all your minions ER, and it doesn't matter how tanky he is, he will just get like eaten. You'll get eaten alive, yeah. I'll go Ignite top 2, and that shit was so good against Maokai. Like, Malzahar destroys tanks, dude, and he becomes a real threat late game too. Once he gets some items. Speak of Maokai, nowadays he's not that annoying, but you know, every champion has their time where they're super annoying, and Maokai had his time where he was pick ban, and there was actually a little bit of time where he was playing as support too, as an AP support. I think that was cool. I'm pretty sure 80 carries were whining about him being annoying though, because you couldn't walk near the bush where that happened. But yeah, and he probably has one of the like worst ultimates in the game now, I think. Like, it's so easy to dodge. Like, it's so incredibly easy to dodge, and even if you get hit by it, it doesn't even do that much. It just roots you for a bit. But yeah, one of the worst ultis, I think, in my opinion. Next one up, Master Yi, another one of my favorites. I feel like he is the most, how do you say it, misguided champion. A lot of players will say Master Yi is easy, but like, while he is simple, he's this. He's easy to play, hard to master, okay? To truly master Master Yi, and be really good and know everyone else's cooldowns and abilities and what you need to dodge in a team fight. You have to be fairly good. But I love Master Yi because you have so much agency in the game. If you get fed, you can actually 1v5, man. And that is, I love that, dude. And also, the fact that no one can tank Master Yi is good. If he goes Rage Blade, Blood Razor, he does true damage, magic damage, physical damage. No one can tank him. Like, he will burn any tank down. It doesn't matter how much defensive items you go. He'll melt you. Even if you're Rammus, you taunt him with Thornmail, full armor, he will just delete you because his E does true damage. And I love that about him. He's awesome. And also, I love going tanky with Master Yi. Usually I go Blood Razor, Rage Blade, and then I go Sterex Gauge, Dead Man's Plate, and get really tanky on him and just become high impact, you know? Like, even if they try to burst me down, it's hard, which is cool. MF, another champion that I never played a single game of. This is like, if a girl had to play AD carry, this is their pick of choice. Not much to say about MF. She does really high damage with Q. After she kills a minion with Q, that shit does an insane amount of damage, man. Her passive is Love Tap, but fucking 90% of people that play her don't even know what this does. Her E does like no damage. And then her R sets up for some really, you know, crazy wombo combo plays. If you get a really good ult off, trust me, you will know no one tanks a really good MF ult. Mordekaiser. No one plays him again. Like, no one played him so much that he became a meme. And usually people play meme champs. But he's just so unliked that no one really plays him anyway. I don't know. He has a bunch of bugs associated with him. No one even knows what he does. I still don't fully know how his W works and how it heals and all that shit. His E, I always just max E when I play him, just because it's a really easy to land ability. I played a little bit of Mordekaiser mid back in the day with Deathfire Torch, and then I would just E people to, you know, poke them. I guess you can still do that now with Aerie. And then his R, if you go full AP and click on the right target, they're just dead, which is kind of funny. Yeah, have you seen all the videos of Mordekaiser R with like Leandries, Aerie, and all that? Like, you know, ticking someone down, a slow and painful death. Pretty cool. I don't know if he still goes Gunblade, but I liked it when he builds Gunblade, but no one really plays him. Morgana just got a new rework. She has probably one of the best kits for being an old champion. Her Q is just really solid, slowing you for about 7 years. Her W, again, really solid for wave clearing, or just putting it on whoever you snare for 7 years. E, my Morgana's never seemed to spell shield me enough, but another amazing, amazing ability. You shield the right person, and then they'll probably 1v9. If you have a fed top laner, shield that guy. He's insane. And then the new R just is the same R, but speeds. She speeds up while walking towards enemies, which is good, I guess. Probably one of the most iconic Zhonya's champions. Her passive is still the same, I think, which is just her healing, which doesn't really fit in her kit, but oh well, I don't know, I guess. But yeah, she's really sexy now, though, which is cool. Nami, another like e-girl champion. But the e-girls that play this champion are probably a little bit good at the game, though, because she's one of the harder, you know, e-girl champions, because bubble is hard to land, and then you have to weave your abilities correctly. You have to R bubble, do all that stuff. So yeah, she's pretty cool. I really like playing. I like her E. Her E is like a really well-designed ability, I think, because there's lots of champions that can do cool interactions for her. I love playing Nami Renekton in bot lane because she would bubble me, and then I would flash in, auto W, proc all the bubbles with Fury and all that, just completely chunk them out, and then follow them with double EQ, and then that would one-shot like almost any AD carry, all while my Nami is hopefully bubbling them and stuff. Oh yeah, if I flash W, they're stunned up, Nami can bubble as well. Perfect bot lane right there. Nasus, the original scaling champ. Again, just like Jax's early game, I don't even think he's that bad anymore. He can just always play safe. He'll stack up, but he's not like as game-breaking late game as he was back in the day, just because AD carries have gotten so much more mobility and tools to deal with him. Yeah, back then when AD carries are more slow and there's less mobility in the game, a really stacked up Nasus was like super 1v9, and he still kind of is. He's really tanky now. They buffed his tankiness and all that. But his problem is and probably will always be mobility. But yeah, cool champion. Nasus players are usually really chill as well too. Nautilus, the first champion I've ever played. If I want to get someone fed, I'm probably playing Nautilus jungle, man. Alright, he has so much CC, he has so much gank potential, and he's one of the tankiest champions with W on too. Like, he's a really amazing tank. And that's about all. He has lots of CC, good tank, really solid champion overall. Trick 2G calls him useless, but I would love to have a Nautilus on my team any day, man. With all the CC, easily carry with him on my team. Nico. Came out. Everyone kind of forgot about her. No one really plays her no more. She reminds me of Zoe. Definitely made to be a little bit annoying with her W and then her shape shifting. But I don't know. She seems like Lux actually. Like, she has the same playstyle as Lux, where whoever she lands E on, she throws Q on, and then but unlike Lux that also lasers as well, she instead walks up and then Rs. So whereas Lux would just sit in her far away, throw all her skills, and then R, Nico throws all her skills, walks in, Rs. So same thing about. Next one up is Nidalee. Nidalee, another high skill cap champion. She's one of those champions that you're always pressing abilities on. High skill cap champion. I feel like she's not too rewarding nowadays. Even if you're really good on her, she gets one shot. I like that she has lots of build paths. You can build her Iceborne, Zanya's, Lichbane. There's a good amount of build paths you can go on her, which is pretty cool. But I love playing against Nidalee though as Rengar though. She can never 1v1 me on Rengar, which is amazing. Love that about her. Back in the day, she used to hit like a truck with spears as well too. Speak of Rengar, we have poor man's Rengar here on Nocturne. I honestly think that like there's really nothing Nocturne can do better than Rengar. Like if you were to pick, if Rengar's banned, I'll just play Nocturne because they're almost the same. I feel like Rengar's a little bit better because he has more options. But yeah, they're virtually the same champion. You R on someone, Rengar R's on someone, and then you blow them up. And then you proceed to try and get away or just do as much damage before you die. The Fear makes him a little bit better for pre-6 ganks than Rengar, but still not very good. Fun thing though is Nocturne actually counters Rengar though. But even though I think Rengar is better, in the heads-up matchup, I think Nocturne beats him because every time Rengar R's and then everyone's vision gets a little bit clouded, and the team fight's going down, Nocturne presses R, and then Rengar's just blind, and then he doesn't know who to jump on, doesn't know what's happening, and then if he walks too close, he risks getting caught out by a tank or something, or support. But yeah, I like Nocturne. Another one of those champions I like. Nunu recently got updated. He kind of feels like Warwick now with how much his Q heals and then biting. He has the most troll ability ever, biggest snowball, which is most of the time missed in ganks. I feel like every time I have a Nunu trying to gank for me, he misses the shit somehow. And then his E is also pretty cool. He's just really consistent tank nowadays. Yeah. And then his passive is weird though, giving increased allies attack speed and giving him a cleave. It's kind of awkward. Like it just feels weird. His ult, exactly the same, which is cool. Back then his ult had one of the highest AP ratios. I don't think it does anymore. But it gives a shield though, so it makes it, you know, furthers that tankiness point. Where are we up to? We're up to Olaf. Olaf, another forgotten champion. This champion's really man mode, honestly. He very rarely gets 1v1 by anyone. He has huge mana cost though, and I think that's what's keeping him down. So Corrupting Pot definitely makes Olaf better, but if there's any like crazy tank item that gives a little bit of mana, I guess Righteous Glory is a good one, right? It makes Olaf really good. Olaf is one of those champions where if he wants you dead, you're dead, you know? Like, there's not much you can do about him. He usually goes like 1 damage item full tank, so even if your whole team peels off to try and DPS you, you're probably going to kill whoever you're trying to kill, if they're an AD carrier or whatever. Orianna has one of the best setup abilities in the game. Orianna players are always consistent. Orianna players always seem to be good at CSing as well too, which is nice. Yeah, I love Orianna players on my team. Awesome champion. Yeah, she has shield, she has everything. And then her ult sets Basically, if Orianna lands a good ult, that's everyone else's like cue to go, alright, throw all the skill shots right there. So even in the solo queue environment where communication is not too good, if Orianna lands a good shockwave, everyone immediately is alerted. Like you know, what's a good champion? Pretend like Ziggs is here doing blue buff or something, right? I don't know why Ziggs is doing blue. Ziggs is doing blue buff. Orianna across the map lands the ultimate. Here Ray goes like ding, alerted, throws ult exactly in that location. Like people in solo queue just fucking know, man. All right. So that's Orianna. Ornn used to be pretty annoying, nerfed into the ground. You guys are seeing a trend here. I like his passive, very cool concept. But because of his passive, he has to be pretty bad, because if he's strong in lane and he has a passive like that, he would just completely destroy people and be a really good laner. But the recent nerf to him, making so that W doesn't get a shield anymore, just completely gutted the champion and just made him a shitty damage character now. But his passive is good though. Like him giving teammates 3,000 gold is good. It's just that games don't go long enough for it to matter right now. When you see games go longer, I can see Ornn definitely being meta, because every level gives a teammate 1,000 gold, and that's insane. And he has a really good engage in his ult. Pantheon, he is like Jax, in which he counters auto attacks, but unlike Jax that slowly kills you, he counters auto attacks and then kills you really, really quickly. He's a pretty good jungler. He was a counter to a lot of the assassin junglers back in the day. He countered Lee Sin, he countered Kha'Zix, he counters Rengar. Nowadays, he's not as bad for Rengar. When Rengar didn't have his cleanse on his W, man, Pantheon fucking destroyed you, dude. There's not much you could do against him. But Pantheon's kit seems kind of outdated now, and I heard they're updating him, so I think he's gonna be pretty cool. I hope they keep these 3 abilities, you know? I don't mind if they trade out his ult or his E, but these 3 abilities are really, really iconic to Pantheon, I think. But chances are they're gonna turn his Q into a skill shot. It's just what Riot's doing with every new champion. And then AP Pantheon can just spawn kill people, which is really fun. Check out that video, by the way, guys. I'm running out of breath here. What are we at? How many more champs do we have? Okay. We're almost there. We're about an hour, 16 minutes in. Wow, this is a long video. I thought I was going to finish this video in 40 minutes, man. I'm almost done drinking the entire water bottle. I wanted to make it really fast because I know G-Bay did the same thing, but his video was really, really slow. But I guess it's actually just hard, man. His video is 5 hours. I'm going to shoot for 2 hours, alright? Next one up, we have Poppy. I hate playing against her because I play Rengar and she destroys Rengar. But other than that, she's pretty good. One of the better reworks, I feels like. It really, you know, fits Poppy well and all that. And she's really unique. Her passive is, you know, pretty unique as well. Giving you a range auto attack, making her good with grasp and all that. She's super tanky when she gets low health to make for some hero plays, which kind of goes well with the hero's hammer that she has. She's a cool champion. I really like what they've done to her. Probably one of the best reworks, I think, in my opinion. Where's Poppy? Poppy's here. Pyke, one of the coolest new champs that came out. I don't like playing him as support, but definitely flips the support role on his head, making him want to take the kills. And then AD carries can't even complain because he takes the kill and he's like, bitch, take your money, man. And he gives you your money anyway, bro. So I love playing him. As you can see, I'm Mastery 7 with him. I made a road to Mastery 7 with him. I actually like playing him jungle, though, but I won't mind playing him as a support. His E is a little bit hard to land in like higher skill games, but yeah, if you go full damage, you probably don't even need to land your E. And then that ult is so satisfying, man. But everyone flashes your ult. No one gives you that reset, dude. They always flash your ult, and they don't give you that reset, man. I hate it. Next up, we have Quinn. Again, used to be an annoying top lane champion, but it's still kind of annoying top lane champions for the few people that play it, but no one really plays top Quinn anymore. No one really plays her AD carry anymore. Funny enough, Tyler 1 actually popularized her in ADC. That's actually pretty cool because he was actually playing her before it got popular, and he did make her popular, so well deserved. Her E, oh my god, her E is so good against melee champions. And then her R has been through like 4 visions. I still don't really know what it does. Does it even do damage now when she comes out of it? I think it does, right? When she comes out of it, yeah, does it? Okay, yeah, so it still does damage when she comes out of it. Really good roaming champion with Predator. You can do some really, really funny stuff. But yeah, very fast boy. Girl, I guess. Rakan. I have no games on Rakan, but I have played Rakan in the PvE before. He is also, he's like Leona, but like super mobile. So that's why he was super busted, and they nerfed the shit out of him. He's really, really consistent support. He has basically everything. He can shield, he can peel, he can heal, he can damage. Basically, he has a good amount of damage on him too. And that's why he got nerfed, because he's just super overpowered. And with Zyra, they get a little bit of a bonus as well too. But usually they're not both OP at the same time. And if they are, either one of them is banned, or you know, they're in different teams. So you very rarely actually see Rakan and Zyra together. Rammus. Oh, I hate playing against Rammus, but he's honestly pretty fair. He's not fair to melee assassins, but there has to be some checks to melee assassins, right? Melee assassins are good against ranged carries, and he's good against melee assassins. A very simple kit. Honestly, held up pretty well over the years. Riot is one day going to take away his taunt, but please, Riot, don't do that. Just give him his point and click taunt. It's not so bad to have point and click CC in the game, especially with all these champions flying around with all the mobility creep. And then his ult actually does a surprisingly crazy amount of damage, because it does like base 2,000 damage if he hits all of it. And Rammus does not die too quickly, so he probably will hit all of it. So yeah, very, very good champion. Another super consistent champion. Rek'Sai, super OP right now with Conquer, 55% win rate almost, I think, right? It might be a little bit lower now, but super strong duelist, clears super fast, has very strong ganks, just pretty strong overall. She kind of falls off a bit late game, and she falls off when she doesn't have flash to engage, but the nerf on her W was huge though. Her W used to stun everyone it hits. Now it only knocks up the closest enemy, I think. Huge nerf, but with that nerf came a lot of damage, and they gave her a bunch of damage, which I think is fair, man. It's fair, and her ult is super satisfying, especially now that you can't even dodge it now. You like, it's really, really hard to dodge now, so her ult is super cool. I really like that they made her ult a damage ult though, because she was released during a time where every champion released had like a utility ult, and it's like, come on, man, I want to just kill people. Renekton, another one of my favorite champions. Let me drink some water first. Oh, I'm running out of water. Another one of my favorite champions, because I feel like I'm playing a fighting game when I'm playing him, you know? I'm animation canceling, doing all that stuff really well. I don't like Riven. Renekton is my like animation canceling mechanic vice. You know, you E in, make sure you hit your E, auto W, and then auto Q, animation cancel everything, and then maybe auto W it as you're Wing, pull ult as well, or if someone's about to stun you or something, that's when you use the animation for your ult as you're Eing in. So many cool animation cancels, Tiamat and all that. Really, really fun to play champion. Like, I swear laning with him is so fun, man. Laning with him is super, super fun. But I think he falls off. I don't know. Every time I play Renekton, I win lane, and then like I just either fall off or something. I don't know. But I smash lane super hard though, and he's made to smash lane. And I feel like even though late game he split pushes super well with Spear Sojin, but something about Renekton just gives me bad teammates. I don't know why. But yeah, there's Renekton. Rengar, my favorite champion, perfectly balanced. I think he might need some buffs and a few more skins. Nothing unfair about him at all. You know, his damage is really, you know, really fair against AD carries and all that. And Battle Roar honestly made Rengar have like a really, really strong Bruiser playstyle, to where like I think Bruiser Rengar is better than Assassin Rengar, just because you can still one-shot people, but if you go Bruiser, you can 1v1 a lot of other Bruisers as well too. Go full CDR. You used to max E second, now you max E last. Dakar basically pioneered W maxing on Rengar with the CDR build, and now Rengar is just a super good fighter, man. He is down to scrap, you know? He used to be just a solely one-shot champion, but now he's down to scrap. He's no longer just jumping in and just one-shotting someone. He jumps in, one-shot someone, and then double Ws, and then gets out with full HP. And then he can actually go toe-to-toe with tanks as well, too. If you go Grasp, full CDR, you can out-heal a lot of tanks and damage and all that. So, amazing champion. And it's fun to just kite people with, like, bushes. Like, you know, you've seen those clips where, you know, someone's walking in the bush, I jump on them, go into another bush, jump on them again, keep jumping. Oh my god, that stuff is... I live for that, man. That's why I love playing Rengar bot lane and top lane. I live for those outplays. It's so fun to do those outplays, man. Next up, Riven. She's like Renekton, but kind of harder to play. Scales a little bit better. Has more tedious stuff, like her animation cancel over Q. Like, why? Like, why do you just need to do that? Just make it so that you can do max speed Qs. It honestly does not take that much skill to just remember how to do it. It's just tedious. It's like playing CSGO and you like memorizing a recoil pattern, you know? That's all you're doing when you're doing Riven Qs. You're just memorizing what to do. Just take that out. Let everyone Q as fast as possible, you know? Like, I'm sure she'll still be fine. But, yeah, that's one thing I don't like about her. In that she just has tedious things about her. It's just tedious. Like, I don't want to just have to click back and forth every time I Q to just Q a little bit faster, you know? I don't like that. E, good. One of the biggest shields in the game that scales to AD. Yeah, Riven, I kind of wanted to barf a bit, just complimenting her, because so many people hate her, and I kind of dislike her a bit too, but I honestly don't mind her, man. With Rengar having CC immunity, I don't mind a lot of the champions I used to mind. Rumble, super underrated champion. Recently, I've been playing a lot of Rumble, actually. I think he's a super cool champ. I really like him. His ultimate, like, basically, like, decides fights. If you go Leandry spell pen build, he can burn people for a lot of damage. I really like his kit. I like his build. I just wish he didn't have to overheat, but I understand why this is a thing. Yeah, super cool. I love his ultimate, man. Oh my god, look at that ultimate. If you land a good ultimate, you basically do like 1,000. Oh my god, if they're doing Baron and they're all clumped up, boom, lock him in the pit, and then you have other teammates to throw skill shots in there. So satisfying, man. Super satisfying. I can see why people hate him top lane though, because he's pretty good against a lot of melee champs. Rise, by the time you guys are seeing this video, he's probably been reworked again. He's been changed so many times. Honestly, just give him his old ultimate back that gave him spell vamp and move speed, and make him like this DPS mage carry, you know? Don't give him this annoying, like, this is, you know, no one wants to do that, you know? Like, I like how he scales off mana now. That's cool. Keep this, change this, give it spell vamp again, and yeah, make him just the, you know, spell slinging champ, you know? Maybe increase the CDR on his rune prison though, so that he's not like destroying melees. But yeah, Sejuani, I used to be a Sejuani main. I really don't like what the rework done to her. They made her really easy to play and asymmetrical. She was already easy to play. They made her even easier to play, I feel. And the injustice that got done to her. Also her passive is insanely good compared to her old passive, which just gave her slow resistance, right? Now her new passive gives you just free like 100 armor and MR. That shit is busted. Riot is trying to make her a little bit less tanky though by making her more, giving her more damage and AP ratios. I don't know. Just give me the old Sejuani ultimate, man. That's all I want. The old Sejuani ultimate. Revert Sejuani, please. Oh, I love playing old Sejuani. Old AP Sejuani. Throw your R, E. It's like old Sejuani. Every time I pressed E, I felt like I'm clicking a C4 button because like it pops them. It was amazing. And new Sejuani. I don't know. I don't like it. I'm sorry. I don't like it. And her ult not stunning everyone really sucks, man. Her old ult, which a huge AoE stun, was amazing, man. It was amazing. You Q flash out of nowhere, boom, stun like 4 people. That is a beautiful engage, but you can't do that no more. Your R's a good engage, but your old ult was such an amazing engage. Shaco. What about Shaco? Shaco, another one of those champs that people say fall off, but he doesn't really fall off anymore because he's such a good assassin now. People that play Shaco are probably really good on Shaco. I don't really see too many bad Shacos overall. I don't mind playing against him as Rengar also. He's not that annoying of a champion. I think he's fair. He's pretty fair, but I can see how AD carries can find him annoying because he'll go invisible with a non-ultimate ability and just kill you in one hit, you know? And then the mind games with his ult is really fun as well. And then he also has some playstyles with AP Shaco. Even though AP Shaco is pretty bad, I think they need to buff AP Shaco. Or at least make it viable, you know? Right now it's not too viable with sweepers. Shen, another selfless champion, but they made him less selfless and made him a pretty good split pusher. He has very good 1v1 potential. And then whenever he needs to join his team, he can R his team. His thing blocking auto attacks is good, but not as annoying as Jax because it doesn't stun you and stuff, and you can just kite it out. Helps out his teammates. He still has his iconic stun. His iconic taunt. Awesome stuff. Shield with the passive. Big shield with the ult. Good champion. Good guy champion. People that play Shen are usually good people, you know? You will probably never see a toxic Shen. That's really hard. Same with Shyvana. People that play Shyvana are just in here to get their job done. They farm. They do dragons. They do their job, man, alright? People that play Shyvana consistent. But Shyvana's never really good in metas like this where there's lots of mobility and bruisers and all that. She's good when tanks are meta and like low mobility champs are meta because she's just like, you know, she just runs people down. She has no real mobility. So when people like Maokai are meta, she's good. When people like Riven are meta top, she's not very good. And her ult is super cool. AP Shyvana is actually kind of viable nowadays too because they buffed the ratios on her E. And AP Shyvana's E does crazy amount of damage. It's funny that they also still have the old E on here too. Look how not updated this is. This still has the old E. Look at this. Come on. Still has the 5-way E, even though now it's the one big lump of fire that burns the ground. And then little thing that people don't know is when Shyvana kills dragons, it gives everyone on her team armor and MR. So she makes your team tanky. So she's a good champion. Really, really good champion. Next one up, we have Singed. Singed, like, I feel like can always 1v1 you. He can be 0-5, but he just somehow is super strong. He's always strong, I think. You know, even when he's feeding, he has good farm. Proxy Singe isn't too meta anymore. They should make it more meta. I really love playing Singe. I played Singe a bunch on my Smurf. And it was really, really fun to play, man. Singe is so fun to play. I love playing Singe. People that are playing Singe are probably having the time of their lives. There's not a single person playing Singe that's not having fun, probably. Like, even when he's feeding, he's having fun. And Singe is one of those champions. I really don't like that they took off the mana scaling of him, though. I thought that was, like, a really cool thing about him. Sion. Probably one of the coolest reworks. They made him look so much cooler. A lot of people like old Sion, but let's be real, that shit was never going to stay in the game forever. New Sion, really good kit. Definitely defines a tank. He has, like, you know, very telegraphed abilities. They're easy to dodge, but he's tanky to make up for it. And then you have to respect him when he dies because he becomes a zombie. He's like the iconic tank, you know? He is the tank, which is awesome. And then when this came out, I know people loved, like, drifting on him. Good Sion players can still drift like crazy on him. But this is most of the time used to just hit people point blank for a little bit of a stun to charge up your Q and stun them again. But yeah, and his shield is super good. Probably one of the best shields in the game. Sivir. One of the few support AD carries along with Ashe. She's a utility AD carry. She really helps out rundown teams like Shyvana, you know. Other than that, she just wave clears, and that's all she really does. She's kind of low damage as an AD carry, not as much damage as the other AD carries. Good poke though. Her Q is one of the highest base damages in the game, which is crazy. Like level 1, this shit does like 140 damage, which is nuts. But other than that, pretty forgettable champ though, and she has one of the weakest passives. She gets like 5 move speed when you auto attack a champion, which is terrible. And then we have Skarner, the kidnap champ. He's in one of those weird positions where any little buff to him makes him overpowered, but if you don't buff him, he's underpowered. They gave him 2.5 seconds on his stun on his E, and he became super, super overpowered. And with Predator, he's one of those champs that if he wants to fuck you, and if he wants to give you a bad time in lane, he can. He can force ganks on you, he can kidnap you. If he flash ults you, you are almost assuredly dead. There's not much you can really do about it. His pillars, no one really cares about him. Kind of like a failed passive. I don't know. It helps him do dragons and all that, but it's like no one really thinks about him. They're just kind of in the background, you know. But yeah, there's Skarner. I need to drink some more water. Oh my god, I have 2 water bottles. I'm running out of water, man. Sona. Sona, I just feel like she's just a really bad support. She's like a really low impact support. She's so easy to play that they can't make her strong. She's just relatively weak. Just because how easy she is to play, you can't really fuck up on her. Every fight, you're going to get all your abilities off and hit them. That's why they can't make her too strong. Like any champion with any support with skill shots, if they land all their abilities and Sona lands all their abilities, they're probably gonna win, and I think that's fair, you know. But her ult gives her some playmaking, which is cool, and it helps her scale up a little bit better. But definitely pretty weak, I think. Yeah, weaker support. Soraka. Soraka, when she's OP, she's really OP, but when she's not OP, she's just like Skarner, where it's like no one really plays her. She's like the dedicated heal support, even though through reworks, she's still the most heal focused support, but like she wasn't as much of a heal bot as she once was. She has some playmaking with the silence on her E and her Q, but yeah, her ult is definitely where it's at. Still, I don't know, man. She's just so forgettable, though. No one really plays her anymore. Swain, amazing rework. Looks super cool. That's about it, though. No one really plays him anymore. A lot of the old champs that got reworked just gets reworked, and unless they're overpowered, they're not played, just because there's so many good champions in the game already. The finger lasers are really cool. They're on like a 3-second cooldown. The W is insanely hard to land, actually, unless you just throw it into a crowd of people. The E is also deceptively hard to land, actually. And then your R is super cool, but that shit does like no damage. That little drain does no damage. But the pop does a lot of damage, though. I actually miss old Swain. No, I wish they visually reworked him, but kept his old kit. I like that he had 2 abilities that were point and click, you know? I feel like we need a champion like that. I feel like we need an AP mage that has some point and clickness to it, especially with all the mobile champs. His passive is really awesome, though. Like, his passive is super awesome. Because you can just go in a team fight and just pull out everyone's soul and begin the fight with a bunch of demon fragments, which is awesome. Sylas just came out. People are still experimenting with him, but I think he's going to be a bruiser. He's a fairly good bruiser, but also if you go him full AP, he is deceptively tanky, because you would like gank him when he has 1 HP and he Ws and he gets like 600 HP back or something crazy like that and solo you. That has happened to me a few times. It is a bit embarrassing. His E is really fluid to use, because usually when you're chasing someone, it's like Zed, right? Where you just spam W to just immediately blink in. When you're chasing someone, you double E and it immediately dashes and then pulls. Awesome stuff. Your R makes it that you have to know how to use every champion's ult correctly, which is cool. Awesome champion. One of the really well-designed champions, I feel. Super well-designed. Came out, not OP, fun to play. Good champion. Syndra, another one of the champs I've never played before. She's known for just clicking on you with R and killing you, and she still does that. And as much as that has like no counterplay, I think there should be some stuff in the game that has no counterplay. Like if you get in a position where Syndra has a bunch of orbs on you, and then she can click on you, you kind of deserve to die, you know? Other than that, though, Syndra players are pretty good usually, man. Syndra players are usually pretty 1v9 from what I've seen. Yeah. And then her E is super good too. With stunning people. Like you stun an 80 carry and drop a Q on them, they're practically dead already. And then your R, of course, if they're not dead yet, they're definitely dead now, man. Unleash power. There was a time where Syndra, all she had to do was R with Thunderlords, and it would proc Thunderlords and just destroy an 80 carry. And there's some fun LCS highlights of that. Next up, we have Tahm Kench. Tahm Kench is the 1v1 tank. I know he's a support, but in my mind, he's a top laner, and he's amazing at 1v1ing other tanks. He's good at saving people. This was, again, during those times where every champion Riot made had a utility ult that went across the map. His W is really unique in that it can save teammates, or it can be used to absolutely shit on enemies. His E has gone through a bunch of changes. I'm still not too sure how it works, but now I think it incentivizes you pressing your E a little bit more. Back then, you only wanted to press it once, and the shield lasted a long time. Now, the shield's pretty short duration, but it's also a pretty low cooldown on the E. Talia, no idea how she became viable in the jungle. Every single Talia I went against, I shit on because I play Rengar, and it destroys Talia. But I can see how she could have strong ganks, though, but all she does is damage, basically. Like, it's kind of hard to land your W, but I guess if you do land it, you do deserve a win on a gank, though. But I like how Riot is, you know, branching out, making some other junglers. They probably didn't intend for her to be a jungler, but I like that, you know, if you want to, you can play as a mage jungler, and she's actually a mage jungler. And then, again, she was released during a time where everyone had a global R, That's why she has Global R. Talon. They did my boy Talon dirty, man. I really don't like the rework on Talon just because his ult feels so shitty now. Like back then, double clicking his ult felt so good when you want to assassinate someone. The rake going in really quick too was like, he just feels slow now. I know he still does a lot of damage and he still one-shot people, but he doesn't feel as good. He feels slower. Definitely feels good to WQ and get your passive off, and your passive does more damage than like everything in your kit actually. But I don't know, man. I really liked old Talon. I liked Eing in with that instant blink and dodging their abilities, right? Doing them, hitting them with a tiny silence and then killing them before they can react. But that's probably why they nerfed him, because you can kill people before they can react. Next up, we have Taric. Awesome rework for him. Probably one of the best reworks as well. His Q is kind of awkward, in which you can charge up heals, but and it's high mana cost, and it still doesn't heal that much, so it's kind of a weird ability. It's mainly used to just proc your passive. Your W is pretty good. Gives your target more armor and a big shield. Your stun is actually super strong. Rank 1, this shit does like 120 damage as well. He's really good early game if you can get some early game skirmishes off. And then his ultimate, which every single Taric in the game seems to press too late, has a 3-second wind up time, and then gives everyone Kale ultimate, which is insanely good if you have good coordination, but every Taric in solo queue presses the shit when they're 1 HP for some reason. Teemo, honestly not as annoying as he was. Back in the day, you would hate laning against this guy, but now with all the rune options, you can just take Second Wind, a bunch of MR, and Doran Shield against him, and like my Urgot video, he'll just never do any damage to you. Move Quick, really outdated ability. He's getting updated though, so on PB he's a bit different. Toxic Shot, I like how he does poison damage though. This is one of the best poke abilities in the game, since all you have to do is auto attack. And then his R is tedious to place down, but there's certainly some players that enjoy that aspect of him though. And then his Q is just so troll, but I love it, man. Just going invisible. I have lots of videos of me just going full AP Teemo, going invisible like near the enemy area, and then when they walk past, just hit a Lichbane Q auto on him and just destroy them with Luden's Echo and all that too. Thresh. This is the fundamental, this is the iconic playmaking support. If you're good on Thresh, you can definitely carry, man. And I don't care what anyone says, his abilities are just so strong. He can do everything. He can peel, he can save, he can catch, he can chase, he can probably do a good amount of damage too. His R does a lot of damage. His R flay into the wall does a good amount of burst damage as well. Super strong super strong support. The only thing that is weak about him is the player. Next one up, Tristana, another champion that I've never played. She's just a traditional AD carry. Very simple AD carry. She's annoying to catch. She's very mobile. And it's hard to get on top of her. She's very good at peeling for herself. She's probably has the most self-peel, because she can jump away, argue away, and she does a surprising amount of damage, man. Like, by the time you get to her, you're probably dead, man. She does a lot of damage. Trundle. Insanely good 1v1 champion versus another melees. Versus melees and tanks, he is super good 1v1 because he can sap your resistances with R and then just wail on you with Q and W. And he usually goes Ravenous Hydra or Bork or Triforce, 1 damage item and then full tank. And then he just beats you silly. But the problem with him is he gets kited too much, and there's not too many of those tanks anymore, you know? There's champions like Riven and Conquer being in the meta is bad for him too, because that makes it so that he can't use the resistances from his R, because he's taking a lot of true damage. But his Pillar is one of the best CCs in the game, surprisingly, which is why support Trundle is very viable too. And his passive is also surprisingly good. Like, his passive is surprisingly good, man. In a team fight with Triumph, and his passive will heal him up a bunch. Next one up, we have Tryndamere. Tryndamere is the iconic split push champion. I love playing Tryndamere. I love split pushing. He's all about like knowing your limits and when to push, when to farm, when to chase, when to all in. Awesome stuff. His abilities are a bit outdated, but I think that's why a lot of people love him. He's so simple. His spin is super intuitive, and he gets that beautiful 5 seconds of unkillableness in his R. And recently he got a nice quality of life change as well too, where he survives a little bit of HP so that you don't die to, you know, random stuff still ticking on you, which is cool. Awesome. Love Tryndamere. And his Q gives him so much sustain in lane. There's so many ways to just play Tryndamere, man, which is awesome. You can play him AP, you can play him safe, you can play him aggro, you can play him ignite, you can play him TP, you can play him ghost. So many ways to play him. Fuck, I'm running out of water, man. We're 2 hours in and I'm not done yet. I don't even know if I want to upload this video, dude. How many champs do we have left? We have 1 plus 7. We're almost there, man. TF. People that play TF are pretty good at farming usually. These are the Dopa kind of players. You don't really see too many TFs do poorly. He's another very consistent champion. He's like Orianna. And TFs are usually good people because they help you out with R. They're good team players, so you don't see many toxic TFs usually. Pick a card. People have gotten good enough to where they don't blue card no more. TFs are pretty reliable in pulling their gold cards, which is cool. He has one of the few point and click stuns in the game, and it's on a really, really low cooldown. His stuns you for like 2 seconds, but that shit is on like a 3-second cooldown. It's nuts. The only thing gating it is that little pick timer. But yeah, tank, I swear tank support TF should be a thing, man. That should definitely be a thing. And then stacked deck, a really forgettable ability, but every few autos he does a little bit more damage, and it gives him some attack speed. Pretty cool, since TF actually has to auto a good bit, since he doesn't actually have that much damage in his kit, since there's a utility ult. Something that gives him a little bit more sustained damage actually helps him get those kills. Twitch. Twitch, some people know him as a jungler that pops out of nowhere and cheeses you level 2 and all that. Some people know him as the AD carry that when he hits 3 items just sneaks up behind your enemy team with R, opens up. It's so satisfying as Twitch to Q behind the enemy, turn on your R, and then just start annihilating people. And by the time they notice, they're already all dead. His W is his worst ability, but over time they made it pretty good now. Back then he just used to give 2 stacks and that's it. Now it gives increasing stacks over time and slows a lot more. So you just pop out of stealth, W the entire enemy team. They're all slowed. You're lighting them up. They have all those stacks on them, and then you get that expunge for the kill. I think it would be too similar to Calista, if his expunge reset on kill. But oh man, would that be sick if it reset on kill. And his passive is one of the actually worst passives in the game. Each of his basic attacks inflict his targets dealing true damage each second. This thing does like no damage. Like even with 6 auto attacks, that shit does 36 damage. That's it, 36 damage a second. So it's like every 6 auto attacks, you get like a third of an auto attack for free, and that's it. But his R is definitely super, super awesome, man. Look at this. Ooh, look at him gatting people down, man. Amazing ability, man. His R is super cool. I'm running out of breath here, but yeah, love Twitch. I loved him more when Ghostblade gave attack speed, because once you popped out, you can press Ghostblade attack speed and pop everything and just light people up, man. Udyr, very kiteable champion, but if you're melee, you will know how strong Udyr is. Udyr is very tanky and will do a lot of damage as well. And he's honestly fairly mobile if you're a melee, because he can probably chase you down with Bear Stance and Ghost and all that. He can play Phoenix to wave clear and all that and have a little bit of burst. And go tankier. Tankier players usually go Phoenix, or he can go damage and Tiger Dot you for all your HP if he gets on top of you. Once you get Bear Stance, you're probably dead, but it is pretty hard for him to get a Bear Stance off on laners and all that though. And he gets a shield too, and another really bad passive actually. His passive only gives him like 15 attack speed and like 15 move speed throughout the game. I think something really low. Urgot got one of the best reworks. Really awesome, fits his theme, and he's getting another mini rework, turning him to a higher damage champion on the PB, as you can see from yesterday's video. Everything about him is just so like well done. I feel like they didn't do anything with him poorly. His E probably doesn't feel too satisfying to use, but it fits his theme as like a, you know, clunky fat dude, you know, to have like a clunky ability. His R is hard to hit, but once you hit it, oh man, it's so satisfying to reel him back in and just kill him. His legs doing reduced damage is kind of annoying, but they are removing that too, which is nice. And his purge is just so iconic of an ability for him. You know, he feels like a boss. He feels like a raid boss, man. Awesome stuff from Urgot there. Varus, I used to play Varus a bunch too as a full lethality Q sniper, but they kind of changed that to where he can't really do that much anymore, which kind of sucks. Recently, they also changed his W to where if you activate it, it makes your Q do more damage. He's in an awkward spot. I have a feeling Varus is going to get reworked soon. But his kit, his kit works though. You can play him as a full damage burst carry where you are someone and then you EQ them and just basically insta-kill them. Or just a Rage Blade Runan 80 carry, spreading your stacks on everyone and then dropping an E to pop them all. He's another pretty good DPS carry. And Varus players are usually pretty good as well too. Just because you can't fuck up with him too much. Vayne. Here's a high skill. Speak of fuck up on them. Half the Vayne players fuck up on her, man. I swear. Like Vayne, since she's such a high skill champion, people can mess up on her a lot. When people play Vayne, they think they're a god. They tumble in. Vayne spotting was a thing for a while, I don't know why Vayne players think they're a god when they jump in. They always get one shot. They always think they do these double lift plays where they jump in, perfectly dodge everything with Q, and then shoot the assassin into the wall and then kill him, and then laser everyone down and be all cool. In reality, she R's, tumbles in, condemns a person a little bit far away, and then gets one shot by someone else, and that's all. But Vayne, she was always, known as a weak early game champ, but I feel like there's no more weak early game champs nowadays. Everyone is fairly okay early game, and even if you're not, you can survive early game. But there were times where you would just get destroyed early game. Back in season 4, season 5, like Caitlyn versus Vayne, that matchup, Vayne gets decimated, but now she can survive, Fleet and all that. Veigar, I love playing Veigar with Glacial Augment, GLP Rush, slowing people down. If you suck and you feed in lane, at least you slow people. If you're ahead, you slow them down to land your powerful abilities and kill them. He's just a hyper carry, I feel like. He's such a cool hyper carry. His abilities have so much punch them when they land. His W is hard to land, but when it lands, that shit hurts. His Q, the little mini game of CSing and getting more AP, is awesome and really fun to play. The only thing that's, I think, bad about him, I guess, is his E now, because it's actually fairly hard to land. Back in the day, his E has no wind-up time. Now has a little bit of wind-up time. It's a little bit hard to stun. Back then, good Veigar players can just land a stun on anyone, basically. And I remember those times. Those are good times, but I think it is probably correct that they nerfed it there, though. And his R is probably one of the most satisfying ults in the game. It just means, you die now. If you're low HP, you are not surviving this. You just die. And his passive is amazing too. Every time you hit an enemy or kill someone, you get more and more AP, and you get those beautiful 1000 AP numbers on Veigar, which is not achievable in too many other champions. Speak of AP, my other AP champion I love playing, Vel'Koz. Vel'Koz came out right when I started playing the game, and then I remember my friend said he was really hard to play, and I'm like, psh, I can play him. So I bought Vel'Koz when he came out, and then I sucked on him, and I refunded the champ. I used one of my refund tokens on him, which is pretty funny. It's funny, though, because I love Vel'Koz now. I love that he's a burst mage. My friend told me that he was a burst mage, and I like that concept. A burst mage, you hit all your abilities, you delete them. He plays kind of like Lux in a bit, but a little bit higher skill, where if you land your E, you throw everything on the target, but it's a little bit harder to land your E. And then your R is just so satisfying to just melt down the entire enemy team. And I feel like Kog'Maw when I play him, where if I get sufficient peel and people protect me, I will destroy the enemies, man. He's like the evil villain in the back, just lasering people down. Awesome stuff. Probably one of the most satisfying abilities. Really well done with a laser ability too, right? Good job on that one. We have a few more left. We have Vi here. Vi, super strong ganks, but every time you gank, you have to use flash. But if you hit an enemy with a flash Q, they're probably dead, because that shit does insane amounts of damage. She's getting a little bit of mini rework, but she's going to function roughly the same. I love picking Vi into Ezreal, because he always, flashes and slows and does all that. But as Vi, you Q in, you R him in a team fight, and he is dead. Doesn't matter what he does, he is getting hit. And the second you hit him, he lands, you auto E with Triforce, and that dude is gone if your teammates didn't kill him already while he was knocked up from your R. So Vi also has like a fuck you button, but unlike Veigar, it doesn't kill you. It just, chases you down no matter what and ensures you get hit. Next one up, we have Victor. Love playing tank Victor. I actually hated old Victor because he was so awkward to play and all that, and his abilities was weird to smart cast. His Cloud was really weird AI and all that. Now you can either play him as a kind of sustained damage mage, because his R and E are really good sustained damage tools, but they're hard to land, so that's why some people go Rylai's on him. Or you play him as the tank Victor with a Q kiting, and that's really fun. I love playing tank Victor with 1 HP kiting people, procking klepto procs on him. I have a tank Victor montage as well, which is really fun too. His W, even though it's such a bad ability, actually is really iconic for him, man. Most of the time you actually do get the stun off, which is super good. And then when you upgrade it, it pulls them into the center too, which is amazing as well. And then controlling his ult. I hate controlling it, so all I do is once I ult, I just click it on the enemy and it'll automatically follow them, basically. But yeah, it's a sustained damage ability now. Back then you can use it as burst because it did a lot of burst damage, and it ticked every quarter second, whereas now it ticks every 1 second. So it's a little bit more counterplay and meant to kill a little bit of the slower targets. Vladimir, this dude, good Vladimir players are insanely strong. They'll have 4k HP, 1000 AP, some crazy shit like that. And then they're super, super strong. Bad Vladimir players never seem to be able to get off the ground. His passive helping him have dual scaling means he'll always be tanky and he'll always do damage, which is amazing. His Sanguine Pool, really iconic ability, gives him lots of counterplay. This and Zhonya makes him really hard to kill. His new E is a little bit, how do I say it? It costs health to use, so it's actually a fairly balanced ability. And doesn't actually do that much damage, but late game you can really wipe people with this. You R, flash in, WE, and just pop people. Also, his new empowered Q gives him a little bit more chase potential, because his one problem is he is strong. He's tanky and he does damage, but anyone that's tanky and damage in this game is not very mobile. So he's not very mobile, and that's his vice there. Volibear, speak of strong and tanky. Volibear is strong and tanky, extremely good 1v1. With R on, he 1v1s a lot of champions, but he's not too mobile. In the jungle, he's pretty fun though with Predator, because if you get your Q off, people are almost assuredly dead. The little update with his E made him super good because it knocks people down a bit. I mean, it knocks people away a bit. And his W does crazy damage, dude. His W, you will be surprised how much damage W does. His W does more damage than most ultimates in the game, I'd argue. And his passive really fits him well. If you can keep fighting and survive, the bear will heal up a bunch. And if you have Starix Gauge in the passive, you can almost ensure you always get off that huge heal. Warwick, another one of the good updates, man. Look how sick they made Warwick look, man. He went from the point-and-click champion that looked all goofy and had the big arms and legs to a super sick werewolf. His Q is satisfying to use and reminisce the old Q, too, which is nice. W, a little bit awkward to use. I kind of preferred the old attack speed amping W for his team and all that. That was pretty cool, but I guess changes had to be made. I don't really like how low his attack speed also is when he's fighting a full health target. That's a little bit of a gripe I have with him also, but when they're low, he fucks people up. His E, another really good ability. Lots of counterplay for you and the enemy. Turn it on for damage reduction. Turn it off for fear. The enemies can get away from you. You can get on top of them. There's lots of ways to use it. You can also turn on your E and then R on someone, and then your E will automatically pop, fearing the people around them. But his R, of course, Riot's going to have to take away the point and click. But while taking away the point and click, they actually made it a lot stronger. So the R is a lot stronger than his old R, and it heals for a lot more too. So that's super good. Old R healed for 40% of the damage dealt. This one heals for 100% of the damage dealt. This thing does 1000 damage. You're healing 1000 HP. So whenever you get Warwick low, all he needs to do is R you, and then by the time he's done R'ing you, his Q is off cooldown and bites you again, and then his E is on, and he's full HP again. So he's surprisingly good 1v1 if he gets ahead, especially with challenging smite and press the attack. Ooh, he's powerful. And then his passive gives him a little bit of healing, reminiscent of his old passive, which is cool. Wukong in a fairly bad spot right now. He's supposed to be a top laner, but he loses every single matchup. So I think he's better off as a jungler nowadays. But even as a jungler, his ganks aren't very strong until 6. And even at 6, a lot of champions have stronger ganks than him. So they just play him as this gimmicky assassin. But it tends to work out though. Wukong usually gets his job done. And it's really satisfying though. If you get Mobies on Wukong go invisible and sneak in with Ghostblade and E into someone, auto Q, one shot the AD carry, and then pop an R to knock up the entire enemy team before rolling away with 1 HP and then having your team clean up. His passive really suits his playstyle, but it's rather simple. I would like for them to change it to maybe when he hits an it has a cooldown, as a 10-second cooldown. When he hits an enemy, it checks how many enemies are around him, and it gives him a shield based off of how many enemies are around him. I think that would help him out a little bit more survival wise instead of the armor and MR here. But the armor and MR is still pretty good though, because when he goes Black Cleaver, he has the HP, then he grabs the armor and MR from this, and it basically makes Black Cleaver a free tank item for him. Next up, we have Zyra. Also never played Zyra. She's just another annoying AD carry Riot made that is good against basically everything. There's not much that Zyra can't do. She can DPS, she can CC, she can survive and peel for herself. So she can basically do everything. There's lots of outplay potential on Zyra. I would like to see her damage numbers hit a bit because of all this utility, because there's lots of champions that does about the same damage as her, but they just don't have shit like her R to avoid a lot of damage and assassinations. Yeah, her R is basically just a get out of jail free card for most assassins that jump on her. R and flash, and you cannot kill her almost ever. And then yeah, her basic attacks doing piercing damage is going to help her out with DPSing, especially with this as well too. Next one up, we have Zyra. Zyra is the scripting mage champion. Lots of skill shots. Chances are you're never going to land all of them in a game, but if you do, you're going to get rewarded. Very high damage champion. Good sustain too. One of those champions that never really run out of mana because of his passive. W, really easy to land. E, another really easy to land stun. Zyra can usually just one-shot someone ganking him if they're out of position. And then he gets that. And then here's where the good thing. Here's where the good Zyra players separate from the great ones. His R having so many shots now makes it so that like if you land a bunch of them, you can really change the course of a team fight. Late game, this does like 500 damage a shot. 80 carries only have about 1600 health. You can just solo an 80 carry. If you're good enough to land all the shots, you can just straight up kill an 80 carry. If you're fed, you can kill an 80 carry in 2-3 shots, and you have like 6 shots too. So that's why he's such a high skill champion. That's why scripters play him a lot, because if he's played perfectly, he's insanely good. Next one up, we have Xin Zhao. He's another Jarvan type champion where it's fairly one-dimensional. All he does is walk into lane, E on you, auto Q, wait for you to get knocked up, W. Very linear gameplay, and I think it's important to have simple champions like that in the game. He is like, you know, just a really simple jungler. If you want to learn jungle, he's very good at learning jungle. He clears fast, he clears healthily, he ganks strong, he has good early game ganks, he scales pretty well. And there was a time where Xin Zhao was OP and he just basically face rolled every single champion, going warrior, Triforce, Sterix, back when Sterix, Triforce worked together, and that shit was insanely OP, man. And then his ult, honestly, people don't really use his ult like how it's supposed to be used. People just honestly jump into the middle of a team fight, knock everyone around, and then just fight people and just pray that they don't get damaged by some ranged characters. They're not using it as tactically as I think Riot hoped, but it's good that attack speed makes it so that he keeps his ult up though, even though he doesn't have too many attack speed builds. People just build him as a damage character. Next one up, we have Yasuo, the champion everyone loves to hate. I hate Yasuo's. I do not want him on my team because he messes up. 80 mids just mess up your team's damage curve. It forces your top laner or jungler to go AP, because if you don't, the enemy team can build full armor, and building full armor versus building armor and MR is wildly different. If you 1v1 a champion with 2 armor items and you 1v1 a champion with 1 armor item, 1 MR item, like they're way weaker when they have an MR item. And he doesn't do much magic damage himself, so I don't know. And Yasuo's just tend to feed. Like, I just hate Yasuo, man. Like, I would have more enthusiasm hating on him if his name didn't start with Y, if his name started with A, I'd be flaming the shit out of him even more. But since he's around the end here, I've lost all my energy to flame Yasuo, and I just hate him. I hate people that play him. I know he's fun to play. I think he's fun to play too, but like most people that play him are dickheads though. Next up, we have Yorick, another really good update, making him an amazing split pusher. Even though nowadays I feel like he's kind of he's kind of lost in what to do. Even though you can split push on him, he can't really do stuff Tryndamere can do. He's good at taking towers, but he's not good at like fighting 1v2 too much. He's not good at escaping, so he's in a little bit of an awkward spot. But every now and then he gets OP again when runes favor him, since his kit is fairly good. His W, pretty interesting CC ability here. His E, surprisingly hard to land, but if you land it, you get pretty rewarded. You stack up all your minions, land your E, all of them jump on him. It's pretty good. And then your Maiden coming out. You, if you're maiden out, you can like solo barons and dragons and all that super easily. You and your jungler can probably do baron at 20 minutes with maiden, but not many people do it though. I don't know why. But your maiden is probably one of the best DPS abilities in the entire game, because every time you auto attack someone that your maiden is attacking, it does 10% of their max health. But yeah. Next one up, Zac. We're getting into Z. There's like, wow, there's like 5 champions named with Z. Zac, I honestly think they ruined him, man. His E is such a fun ability, man. His E is an amazing ability to gank with. But his Q, they made his Q like annoying to use now. Honestly, okay, fine. I'll forgive the Q they made him, right? W, they kept it the same, cool. But his ult, come on, I love the old ult where you get a bunch of tenacity and you just bounce through the enemy team. You caused all this mayhem. Why did they have to change him to this kidnap kind of ult? I know it's cool too, like, and it's kind of unique as well, but I just love the old ult where you had 50% tenacity. You would have Merc Treads or whatever. You have like 80% tenacity. And you just bounce through the enemy team. They can't CC you. You do a good amount of damage to the target you land on with E. It was so fun, man. Why they gotta change his ult, man? I love his old ult, dude. And then if he dies in team fight, he can respawn as well too, which is super awesome. Yeah. Oh man, please change Zac back, dude. I love old Zac so much, man. Love old Zac. Zed, he is like Yasuo, but a little bit better, I feel, because Zed destroys his matchups really hard, whereas Yasuo doesn't really guarantee he wins lane. Zed almost always wins lane if he's picked as a counter pick and all that, which is nice. And Zed, even late game, is an extremely good split pusher, and he can almost always assassinate one person. I still don't like an AD mid on my team, but if it has to be an AD mid, I prefer it to be someone like Zed. He has a very high skill cap. I still don't play him too well. You have to manage your shadows really well. You have to manage your R shadow. I always forget about the R shadow. Yeah, lots of things to do on Zed though. And his passive is very satisfying too. His passive does a bunch of damage when you're low. It really fits him well. Next up, we have Ziggs. Ziggs is the wave clear guy, okay? If you want to stall out a game, wave clears, Ziggs is the guy, because you can constantly wave clear from super, super far away from your with your bombs to draw out games. I remember Ziggs was probably in, I think, season 5 or so, where people just, every LCS game, there's no killing, everyone just played wave clear mids, and then it would be like a 60-minute game, and there would be 10 kills, and it's because of champions like Ziggs that can just permanently wave clear forever. He has his Q, he has his Satchel to bounce himself away from ganks, so he's pretty safe. He has his E to cut people off, or just wave clear some more. All his abilities can either do utility, damage, or wave clear, which is why he's so good. But now he's more of like a tower killing champion. Lich Bane, if you get Lich Bane on Ziggs, he could probably one-shot a tower, like no joke. Like he would Q auto the tower and then hit your passive, which does 1 billion damage to towers, and then you W the enemy tower when it's below 35% health, and it's just insta kills. He is known for just destroying towers. Oh, bring Demolish too, forget about it. Zillion is known for being really good with divers, man. He's insanely good with divers, because he can put bombs on the divers to bring the bombs into the enemies and blow them up. He can speed up slow tanky champs like Darius to dive better, and he can slow down enemies as well too if he needs to do that. He can double bomb to stun to help people out. It's an AoE stun, super good. And then whenever your tanky J4 that goes in and dives actually dies, you put an R on him, he comes back with like half health, still super tanky, and is super good. Or if the J4 never ends up dying and your AD carry is getting jumped on by assassin, R your AD carry, that assassin has to kill them twice, and since there's the little revive animation, he's probably not going to be standing next to the AD carry in the middle of the whole team. So Zillion, super good champion. Next one up, with a super good champion comes a fairly degenerate champion. Zoe is basically just old Nidalee, super long range one-shots, which are never really too fair. All she does is she hits you with a sleep move, and while you're sleeping, she just kills you in one hit. That's all she's about. She can steal your summoner spells on top of that, because that's not OP enough, it seems. She has a really good like Lich Bane passive, which gives her like an instant auto attack too, in case her other abilities weren't crazy enough. The only thing keeping her down is her utility ultimate. That's pretty easy to kill if you're playing in higher elo, because people will just throw a bunch of skill shots where she's going to come out of, and then she's probably going to get one shot. But yeah, if you get hit by a bubble though, you're dead. Next one up, we have Zyra. Just like Brand, she's one of those supports that just does more damage than your AD carry, it seems. Zyra is an extremely high damage support, has lots of good CC. It's really hard to play as a melee champion as Zyra as well too, because she'll stare you, and then you walk up to her, and then she R's, and a bunch of plants are attacking you, and you're knocked up. She does an insane amount of damage, and most of the time will out damage the AD carry. And it makes me think, like, why don't we just have Zyra brand bot lane, man? That shit would probably be insane. But there you go. That's every single champion, in my opinions on all of them. This video ended up being 2 hours. Wow. Thank you guys if you guys watched to the end here. I really, really appreciate it. Make sure to comment and tell me what you guys think about the champions. Tell me what I think about. Tell me what you guys think about what I think about your main. I think that'll be all fun. But yeah, it's Youumuus signing out. It is literally 3 a.m. right now. I started this video thinking, oh, I'll get it done. Right? It is 3 a.m., bro. Oh man, good night everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let's see if I put 10 ads on this 2-hour video, will I actually make some money, and then my YouTube channel won't be dead anymore. I don't know. YouTube tends to promote extremely long videos, so we'll try that out. But yeah, Youumuus here signing out. I'm running out of breath. Hope you guys all enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.